Oh yeah, I know. I already talked to him about
I
it.
recently did a fan curve
I
adjustment.
see that. Yeah. Literally, probably like a 5-degree jump there, and they came ranked up to 70.
Well, you see, I was having some thermal throttling issues.
Were you,
Yeah.
dude? I honestly, so
The headset was pushing the new headset was pushing the limits.
really.
Yeah. It was.
This headset.
Yeah. It was, she was getting pretty toasty.
It takes quite a bit more,
Yeah.
obviously, with the higher resolution.
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%.
And it's not that my compooper wasn't able to handle it. It just was. It was my fan curves weren't adjusted to handle.
Yeah, I honestly,
I also overclocked it a little bit more.
oh my fucking god,
I juiced in about 10, like 0.10 extra gig. So instead of like bouncing around like 4.9, 4.5, I'm usually somewhere between 4.9 to 4.95.
Really?
Just
Numbers.
under 5.
That's actually kind of
Numbers.
crazy.
Just under 5 gigahertz on an AIO.
So I'm gonna bring it up
In a
before
tiny
Mike
case.
brings it up because it's not in front of him, so he can't remember it right off the bat. But I recently reinstalled Windows on my laptop.
Yeah, that's right. I meant to write that down on my list.
I definitely did
He
it.
quite literally was like, "All right,
Why your laptop?
time to reinstall."
Because it's been running the same Windows for, what did I say, 5 years now, I believe?
Yeah,
Somewhere in that ballpark.
I was too
It's a
busy
long
laughing
time.
at the joke to listen to what you said about it.
It was a laptop that I got when I was supposed to be going to college. And then the same day I got the laptop, I dropped out. So
Dude, fucking jokes on whoever got your laptop.
yeah, well, I mean, I guess so. But
Free laptop, baby.
well, it was good until the 10 series came out shortly after. It has a 960M in it. She a doo-doo laptop.
One tier below what the minimum requirements are to play VR.
Yeah, and I've tried it on that laptop.
Yep. You can't even get Oculus
It's
to
like
work.
15 frames.
Yeah, you can't even Oculus won't even load.
Oh, really?
You can't even get Oculus to load on.
It won't let you because of the
Yeah,
requirements?
it will literally say you don't meet system minimum requirements, and it won't
That's
let you do
actually
it.
kind of crazy. I mean, it makes sense, though, because why would it let you try and run something and have a bad experience than just saying you can't do it at all?
Maybe I want the bad experience.
I mean, I'm curious to see what VR looks like in 720p.
I mean, I don't.
Could you
I don't-
imagine?
well,
You can't really scale it. I don't think. I
what
think
was
you get
what
what
was
you get.
the what's the Vive at? Like what? I obviously I know it's not
It's
720.
too weird of a number.
It's well over 1080. I can assure you that.
It's
okay.
Let's look it up.
Look at all those booms. Look at all you.
Look at all this boom.
What's going on, Flex? How you doing? Hooli, good to see ya.
Your manager.
What's going on, J-Man? That's your homie, right?
Mhm. That's my brother.
That's his
Oh, it's your
yeah,
brother.
Yeah.
Duh. What's going on, bro?
What up, Jeremy?
How's your guys' Merry Christmas? Merry Chrysler.
Merry Christmas.
Mary's a Chrysler.
Merry Christmas. That was actually one of my topics I was gonna have.
All right, I looked it up. 2160 by 1200.
2160 by 1200. That's such a weird aspect ratio
That's
that
like-
I have a
that's-
hard time
that's-
even.
I mean,
It's
it's
'cause of
200
wide.
under, but it's almost like 1440.
It's narrow.
Because it's what 1440 is like 20,
2560
2156.
by 1440.
What do you want to say, Joe Byron, right now?
Sup, baby?
So, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, guys. What'd you guys all get for Halloween, Christmas?
We're eating it.
I ate mine already.
I would say I have very little of
This is
bag left on my
actually-
desk.
From Halloween.
But I still have my
It's a
big
lot.
old tin of popcorn that I'm very
Oh,
excited to get into.
honestly, I'm a little envious that you got that.
I got. I asked both my parents, asked me, what I want, obviously, because I go and see them, and I told them both that I want a, because one of a little bit of a life hack for anybody here, if your parents are divorced and they both ask you what you want for Christmas, if you want
for the same
more, if you want more of the same thing, you just ask both parents for the same thing, you get more of it. So
Oh my God, it does.
I wanted to buy.
Quantity isn't always.
Well, but the thing is,
it depends. It depends what it is.
Exactly. I
That's
mean, which
true,
I'm
it
getting
does.
to.
You're so right, it does.
So I wanted Barnes and Noble gift cards so that I could buy when it comes back in stock on January 3rd. Nobody buy it. I'm buying it. I call dibs. If you,
What is it?
it's the it's
Kakiguri,
the rest of Kakiguri. Yeah, I
Oh,
want to
okay.
buy it.
Kakiguri. I mean, hey, how much do you have to buy still?
A significant amount. I have.
Oh, okay.
I literally, it's all out of stock.
Damn, why?
Because it's only printed in Japan. It wasn't printed for the last couple of months, and with the shipping delays
No
and
imports for it.
no imports, it's been out of stock for almost 3
You
months.
can't ship it online. Ship it over.
Nope, there are no copies. There are absolutely no copies currently available in the United States anywhere. You cannot get it. I have
outside of the country. Couldn't you buy from Japan?
Then you're waiting until January 3rd, so you might as well just wait until it gets in stock at Barnes & Noble and then buy it through them.
But can
What are you waiting for?
But can you guarantee?
Yeah.
Like, can you guarantee that it's going to restock then?
Yeah, because they have a restocking date on their website.
Okay.
And if you call the publisher, or if you email the publisher, same to them. They say that their shipment of that novel will be in the United States, available across stores. So there's somewhere out there right now. There's a fucking shipping crate that is carrying nothing but kakiguri books.
I don't know about nothing, but
Well, I mean, in crates, in the shipping crate.
They have to stock all
There's
the
a
Barnes and Noble
massive-
stores
a
across
massive
the
crate full of them.
right. So
is it Japanese text or English?
it is they sell it in both.
Right.
Are you asking
I'm asking which one you're getting.
Oh, English, obviously.
Okay.
I can't. I wish.
Well, I know
Does
you
it
can't
still
read Japanese,
right to
but-
left in English?
Yeah,
Yes,
it's backwards.
Yes, it
Yep,
does.
it's flipped.
Yes.
Yep.
I actually have. I need to show you. I have some Naruto books.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Some like
That are
actual
in that
manga?
that are in that style. Yeah.
Ah,
I was-
interesting. I mean,
I-
that's in the basic styles, right to left. I mean,
I
that's
thought it
how
was so
Japanese is.
so funny and cute because I was standing in the anime aisle, or the manga aisle with Kenzie and Barnes and Noble, and there was this family that came up with a bunch of little kids,
Yeah.
and they were stoked when they saw the Naruto stuff. And like all the little kids were like, "Mom, look, Naruto!" And I thought it was funny because these young ass kids fucking grabbed the books down, immediately knew back to front, started like going and doing
Really?
it and everything, knew exactly what they were doing, and like just got into it. I was like, "Look at those kids go! They know more than I did."
Fucking.
I mean, if they're part of the,
teach the cultures. You know.
yeah, if
teach
you're
the
if
cultures
you're
young.
a dad that's in the anime and you have some kids,
Right. It's like we show them like, okay, these books you read on this side, but then these ones you read on this side.
yep, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, it's weird because if you read it the other way around, left or right, it doesn't really make much sense.
No, it would not.
It's kind of awkward. Yeah.
You would quite literally be reading a story backwards.
but
Yeah,
like
only in
backwards,
very
but like
segments. Yeah, it would be like you would be watching a show. Instead of it would be
Like
like
things-
instead of
things would make
frame 1,
sense.
2, 3, and 4, it would be frame 1, 3, 2, 4, 3.
Well, like,
or-
as
or-
you're- as
no. It would
no,
be
1,
it would
1, 3. Yeah, no, yeah.
no. It would go in this sequence. It would go 4, 3, 2, 1, 8, 7, 6, 5.
Well, it's not always. Well, I guess it depends.
Because like I like if
changes
each page.
shape. It changes shape.
Yeah,
and stuff like
imagine
that,
each
so-
page was like 2 frames. So
Yeah,
page
yeah,
one is
yeah.
like 2 frames.
No,
it'd
you're
be
right.
like-
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
You would be skipping ahead 4, and then reading those 4, and then skipping ahead
Yeah,
4,
yeah.
going backwards. It'd be
Do you think there's someone out there that was absolutely despising reading manga the way it's supposed to be read, so they read it backwards like that
I
think
wouldn't
there's someone-
believe.
I think there's someone out there that read it the wrong way
and doesn't
unintentionally, and they were just like, "God, this is terrible. Why do people do this?"
know? God, this is
Doesn't
horrible.
make any
This
sense.
doesn't make
I
any
can't
sense.
follow the storyline.
I
It's
read
like-
it, and it's like it
It's
makes
just
no
all-
sense
It's
to
like
me.
it's like jumping back every 5 seconds.
For some reason, the pages don't make any sense.
Man, the anime made so much more sense. Well, were you reading the manga right? No.
Well, that's actually really cool. So January, you said 3rd, right?
January 3rd, I will have volume 2 through 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ordered.
All right, guys, make sure you go order up some
Order them all up
kakiguri.
so Glitch Penguin cannot get his hands
Yeah,
on
make
it.
sure you come to the
Not that this,
Milwaukee area and then
any-
buy them all.
I will
out.
come to your house and steal them from you.
Any audio listeners that listen to this afterwards, obviously this is long after, but anyone that's out there listening now, go ahead and steal them.
Yeah, you can snag them up. If you can, this is like winning the lottery.
You have until
You'll be cornering the market.
if it's
I'm
if
glad
it's,
that this episode won't go up until probably a couple weeks from now.
Probably somewhere in like
yeah,
February.
but the replay is
Mhm.
gonna sit there for a little while.
That's true, yeah.
True, it will. Yes, it will.
Yep, the replay. What's going on?
You have
Aiden?
until January 3rd. January 3rd.
Yep,
Stop
yep.
it. Stop it. Don't. Stay away
So-
from my books.
Up. So, you, Mike, how'd your Christmas go? What'd you get for Christmas? What was your favorite Christmas gift?
I mean,
that
I
you
didn't get
got
anything
this Christmas?
fancy, which is, I don't really expect anything. big
We're
at this
getting
point.
old. It's
Right.
becoming an
Well,
expected
the
Did
thing.
you get yourself anything for Christmas?
Yeah.
Well,
Christmas?
technically speaking, if you can kind of consider Black Friday purchases Christmas presents.
I would say
So I got myself the new monitor at home. So I would consider that my.
That's a
My Christmas present
That's
to
a Mary
myself.
Chrysler
Yeah.
present right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I didn't get anything like too crazy. My grandma got me this countertop smokeless grill that you
Okay.
use inside the house.
Like a Gary Coleman grill,
I mean, it's not the brand name, but I
like
assume
a
it's similar. I haven't
like a
even
closed down
I
kind of
haven't
grill,
opened
or
it.
like lifted up and put a propane tank out grill top.
Well, I think it's just a grill top. I haven't opened it up.
Okay,
Yeah.
no, that's fair. That's fair.
It's quite literally in like the basic brown box, and that's
Yeah,
what the
yeah.
description was of the thing.
What was it?
It was a smokeless countertop grill.
He gonna be making some hot dogs and hamburgers.
Imagine
Right,
flipping
yeah.
some hot
Some
dogs,
hot-
and, some
hot eggs and
dogs
brats.
some burgers on there.
And then some pajamas and stuff. Gift card
Nice.
here and there. So-
Hell freaking yeah, dude.
Sounds like
gift
it was
cards
a
are
pretty
always good.
cozy. Yeah,
Yes.
gift cards are
Yes.
always good. I
Dude,
feel like
gift cards, honestly,
They only
one
go
of the
to one time of the
underrated
year.
present.
there are actually 2 times: birthdays and Christmas.
Yeah.
My gift card is the reason I own Pavlov right now.
Really?
Did you get a Steam gift card?
Well, no, I got it's
Oh,
one
it
of
was
those.
a
It's one of
Visa,
those
that's
Visa
right.
ones.
Oh,
One of those,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
prepaid
yeah, yeah,
visas.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
Those
so I
visas,
would-
honestly,
I
I'm a
just
really big fan
popped
of
it
them.
into Steam, and I was like, all right, time to buy Pavlov.
Dude, seriously, gift cards are, in my opinion, are like the unsung hero of Christmas gifts.
I
Don't know what to
see-
get somebody? Don't know what to get somebody? Get them a gift card.
I see so
it's
many
more
people-
classy than cash.
Yeah.
I see so many people like shit on it. It's like, oh, gift cards are just lazy. Well, it's like, but
If you get the right
It's
gift
nice.
cards,
That's
that's the thing.
thing. Because
You're not going to get a gift card to Cracker Barrel and give it to someone. I mean, like, if they like Cracker Barrel, sure. But,
Yeah, I
like,
mean,
I'm
I'll
not
take
gonna go
the
get
Cracker
Kenzie
Barrel.
a Cracker Barrel gift.
exactly.
I'll take the Cracker Barrel if you guys want to give me Cracker Barrel.
I mean, hey, I've never eaten a Cracker Barrel.
I personally
so, like,
do not like Cracker Barrel.
I do.
Never
I
tried
do.
it.
I
enjoy
am
them.
not. I got $100 Steam gift card for Christmas.
Christmas.
You can buy 1/6 of a Steam Deck.
True.
Poggers. Or 1/5 of a Vive Index standalone headset. Or 1/10 of the entire kit.
Is that
Yeah.
what you did? Did you wait for some Christmas
No,
gift cards to come in?
I bought that before
Yeah, I was
Christmas.
saying,
Well
yeah,
before
you got
Christmas.
that before Christmas.
Yeah.
You bought it in wait, it was in the beginning of December, wasn't it?
I got
When
it
you ordered it.
it's about a week ago.
About a week
You got
ago.
it. You got it about a week
I
ago,
got-
but you ordered it like at the beginning. of
I ordered
December.
almost 3 weeks ago at this point.
Yeah.
Which would have been so okay on my TikTok. You know how like I post like VR stuff on my TikTok and
Yeah.
everything. Somebody had asked me because I was showing. I made a quick video like tearing down my old VR setup and everything. And somebody was hey, thank you to give. Somebody was leaving a comment that said you should do like a quick unboxing video. So I did that. And on that unboxing video, I talked a little bit about how long it took to get to me and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody from, I believe, Australia commented, if I remember
Ooh.
correctly.
Australia.
Yeah, and they
From the
said,
land
so
down
their comment was along the lines of, hey, I'm from Australia. It really, it's really cool to see more people getting the index. I'm still waiting for mine. I had to ship it to my friend in Turkey who is sending it to me in Australia because apparently
They don't ship to Australia.
they don't ship to Australia because of their import laws.
Really?
They can't ship the
Really?
index to Australia.
So
So she's got a friend in Turkey that is mailing her index to her. So she bought the index, already dealing with a delay in like time there.
Right.
Then having it sent all the way to from the United States
Turkey is
to
far
Turkey, yeah.
from Australia.
But apparently, you can.
I mean-
a citizen can ship a package from Turkey to Australia.
There's a
and not
lot
have an
of
issue there.
water in between Turkey and Australia.
Yeah, but
Because you still have to go across the whole like
Is it-
Asia.
is it-
You have to go all the way across Asia
is it more
and
water
then go down.
than from U.S. to Australia?
I guess I don't know. I don't know how close.
I'm
we are to
pulling up a
Australia.
map right
Technically,
now.
If I remember correctly, we literally are almost on the opposite side of Australia, relatively.
No,
we're
I wouldn't
we're
say
more.
that.
Aren't we more like it's?
Kind
We're
of.
we're opposite side of like. a
If we
little
were to
bit
go north
west
east,
of them.
northwest,
Well, no, like if you think of opposite side of the U.S.
it's more to the right. Like if you were to go, like you're looking at it, you tunnel through and then you turn around. It would be to the right. Australia would be to the right of where we are on the opposite side, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, so the west,
Yeah,
so the
so-
west of it.
Yep. No, east. It would be east to the right. East.
I am realizing that I don't know my geography as well as I thought I did.
Do you have Google Maps? Are you checking to see?
I'm using Earth.
Oh, you're using like the Earth app?
Yeah,
You
like
have
the
the
Google
Earth
Earth app. Yeah.
I mean, it's a good app, but I don't have that.
It's better for looking at countries here. I'm just trying to find Turkey.
So like, well,
Tur-
Turkey is over in like the Gulf, the Persian Gulf area, isn't it?
it's a
I don't know.
By Italy?
honestly.
Italy?
it's a Middle
Is it
Eastern
Turkey?
country, isn't
Turkey's
it?
by Italy. Like, if you know where Italy is, look for Italy.
Yeah, Italy's like the boot.
Looking for the boot.
Yeah.
I don't think you're right.
I'm pretty sure Turkey's
No,
in that
I
section.
think Turkey is more of a Middle
Wait,
Eastern country.
Am I? Maybe my geography. I mean,
The only
I've definitely
countries-
told myself that I'm geographically challenged multiple times.
The
So
only
and it still is
countries-
probably true.
The only countries I'm seeing that are in that border, Italy is That's not a country. France
Turkey is more Middle East.
France, Switzerland.
You know what?
I literally
Aus-
typed Turkey and it
Austria.
says country in the Middle East.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm pretty sure it's a Middle Eastern country. Okay, hold on. Okay, now
Right underneath the Black Sea. Find the Black Sea. It's literally right underneath there.
the Black Sea.
Okay, well,
Right
I was
right
a little
above
bit
Iraq.
off. I was a little bit off. I was
Turkey.
in the
There's
right
Turkey.
area though.
I got Turkey. Yeah, it's
And
between
it was
Bulgaria
it was
and
the
Syria.
Mediterranean Sea. That's what I was thinking of.
Okay, so there's Turkey. You can look at Turkey.
Yeah, so that's pretty far.
Find
I mean, look,
Australia.
think about how far that is.
That's almost further than. Holy shit, that is a distance.
That is
That package is going all the way around the world.
guaranteed. That is further.
That package is that is going full circle almost around the world.
Okay, well, do you know where the Steam like shipping headquarters?
Any
is at?
headsets that are, for the most part, they're. Well, I don't know.
Where are they getting shipped out of? Where'd your headset come from?
Mine came from Illinois.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But
Huh.
that's I think a special case scenario for
Distribution.
me
It's a
because
distro.
I think they have warehouses spread
I think
out throughout
it's a
the
distro
world.
situation
Yeah.
where they kind of have smaller. Well, I would say that Turkey is still probably closer to Australia than Australia would be to like California.
I wonder, where does Valve have warehouses? Because they got servers all over the
They
place.
probably only have somewhere in the ballpark of like 10 to 12. You don't really need that many. Maybe even less, honestly. Could only have like 8.
Dude, I have a banger of a topic to talk to you guys about. I'm so excited to get to it.
Is it a banger of a topic that you
Yeah,
really want to talk about?
Yeah.
Dang, I can't wait to talk about this banger.
I'm
of a
sorry.
topic.
I just pulled up. I opened my phone, went to my my search thing, and I had it up. I had it pulled
am
up.
Super excited to talk about this banger of
Well,
an idea. I'm waiting
Before
for it.
before we
Yeah,
get
yeah. Hold on. We're still talking about Valve warehouses.
well, I'm also curious. you know, I
Allergies?
do before we get to your banger of a topic. I do want to like circle back a little bit. You know, what I got for Christmas. What about you? What did you get?
I honestly, I got a lot of things this Christmas. A lot of stuff. More than I was actually expecting. But one of my more notable things there's 2 things I received this Christmas, actual items. Is I received these 2 Zippos. So normally on every single like holiday or Christmas or birthday or whatever, Zoe is very attuned to gifting me Zippos.
Mama Wolf. for
Okay,
anyone that
Mama
doesn't know.
Wolf. It's just like a little bit of like a collectible item. And this Christmas, since we got married, she got me 2 Zippos that have I can't remember the name of the show.
His and her Zippos.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
basically.
it's specifically the is it Nightmare Before Christmas?
No, they weren't. They weren't that.
Yeah, no, it was.
They were like.
It's the other one. It's the other movie that's like Nightmare Before Christmas.
They do, I mean, they just look like De los Muertes, like Day of the Dead.
It could have been that too. Yeah, it
They just
definitely
look like
could've
Day
been
of
that.
the Dead characters.
Corpse Bride.
Yeah, it could have been Corpse Bride. I think if it was, it would have been. It could have been, but it also could have been what Mike is saying. But the other thing is I received a ancestry DNA kit. And
So did you get it back yet?
no, because I mean,
I was
you
gonna say,
think
he
about
just-
it.
he
Just
probably
on
just got
Christmas, yeah. So they probably literally just took it in the mail today, if they take mail on Mondays.
My mom did one of those a while back,
Mm-hmm.
and she found out that because my mom's adopted. I think I've told you this before.
Yes, we have talked about
Yeah.
that before.
She just confirmed yesterday, with like almost 3 years of doing like her ancestral like back searching and everything
Yeah.
to like try to find like biological relatives and everything.
Mm-hmm.
She just confirmed yesterday that she has 2 sisters.
No way.
You know how I always
she's never met.
Yeah, you know how I always talk about my family being like super small.
Yeah.
My family, like
Just
bloodline, got a lot bigger.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, like 2 separate sisters. Like that's.
I mean, that's 2 separate
No.
aunts.
Yeah, I have 2 aunts.
So
yeah.
however many kids that those 2 aunts have.
Yeah,
And
and
then
then cousins and
yeah.
however that falls down the family tree.
Does she have any like plans to go and try and
I
meet
don't
them
know.
up
I haven't
or
asked her
or
yet.
anything?
She
I
texted
mean,
it to
I don't
me.
want to get too personal.
No, it's fine. She
Was it
doesn't
just on like the ancestry like profile that she found all this? or
No, it wasn't just. I don't think it was just ancestry. It was
finding in general,
it was it was a combination of that plus paying the state to try to find her biological mother to dig up those records.
I see.
Found her mom, and then if I remember correctly, and this will kind of blow your mind. Blow your mind. When
That's not the ancestry I signed up for.
When my mom found my biological mother, she sent an email and reached out and everything with a phone number, like, this is how you can contact me if you want to like reach me and get to know me or something, or say hi at least. She actually initially refused to make contact.
Your mom?
My mom's mom.
Oh,
My biological grandmother.
Okay.
which is understandable. I mean, like think
I
about
mean,
it
there
this
was
way.
there was reasons behind it.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
no, of course.
No, my mom totally understood. She got it.
Right.
Like maybe she's not ready. You know,
There's
she
so
doesn't have her
many
life
things.
together. It could be so many things where she doesn't. Like my mom doesn't know why she was put up for adoption. You know, like there
Right.
could be other things there. It could have been a bad relationship or something like that.
Well,
There's
I
a
couldn't
million
help but
things.
hear you say that initially she refused to.
So I believe part of the reason she found out with this is because I think my mom's biological mother decided to reach out and extend some family information to her.
it's your grandma, dude.
It's my biological grandmother. Yeah, I know.
Right.
Yeah, really weird. I don't know her name. I don't know where she's from. I don't know what she looks like. I'm honestly more curious to see what my mom's sisters look like than probably her, because I'm curious if my mom's sisters look like my mom, because that would just be the weirdest fucking thing.
Yeah,
to
if
me.
all of a sudden you just saw 2 women that just looked almost identical to this like lady that you've been living with your entire life.
Right, yeah, the person
Yeah.
that like fucking raised me, and like,
Exactly.
I have 2 aunts all of a sudden. I don't know. It's a weird thing, but
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm excited for you.
That's actually
It's-
really cool. No, I'm really excited for it too. I don't really know my heritage that well because my entire life I thought I was Italian, and it turned out I was more German more recently because my mom did the same thing. But she didn't really dive too deep into it, or maybe she found everything. I'm not too sure.
I've got
yeah.
I think I told you this before too, because like the whole my mom being adopted. This is where they came up. Was talking about like where we are or whatever. But I
Yeah.
know my dad's is like heavily. I'm like 50-25, almost like German Polish on my dad's side.
Same here, actually.
Yeah.
believe it or not.
Well, Wisconsin,
Yeah, I was
we're
gonna
all
say.
we all
German-
are.
It's all in that area.
Yeah, we all are. And then my mom's side is a lot of European, but we don't know from where. So I think she knows exactly. She's got like the full breakdown. I don't know it offhand because it was.
I mean, they give it to you. in a
my
pretty
mom is like
detailed
everything.
sheet.
She's got a fucking mix of everything in her. but like a heavy like European ancestry. I don't know anything other than that.
Yeah, I actually I found out that apparently my last name was because the name Knox was supposed to be referred as Knock, Knock.
Did your old family used to make door knockers?
Well, no, we were farmers apparently. Apparently, we were just farmers.
They had big
and
knockers.
It's very possible. Yeah, it's very possible they had big knockers. But but apparently the name came from the family. It was people who lived on top of hills. I don't know. I don't know.
Alright then.
Apparently, people who lived on top of hills gained the name Knock, and then eventually, when last names became a thing, Knox was a name that evolved to it, I guess.
I don't know where the fuck cool it
I'm
came
going to
from.
be honest. It's really hard to understand because when you think about it, I mean, like, think about before last names were a thing, you know? Like,
Right.
before names were used the way that they're used now.
Well, it was like a lot when people were coming into the country back, in the heydays of the American dream and all that
Yep.
stuff. There wasn't record keeping of that shit. So it was like you came to the United States. Oh, your family was blacksmith. Okay, you guys are smiths. Go through. And then there was
Right.
Yeah,
like,
pretty much.
and then you guys are farmers. All right, we'll give you the last name Browns, and you guys can go on through. Like they were just
Yep.
kind of writing off names for everybody to get them.
It wasn't even that. I mean, you could be whoever you wanted to be.
Yeah, their names. I mean, family lines.
Names were literally built off
Yeah.
of your ancestors choosing what that name was.
Historical family lines a lot of times begin at the beginnings of like Ellis Island and like
Yep.
that whole thing. As far as like American tradition goes, I mean
Yeah,
that's very
right.
different outside of the United
of it,
States,
it's complete.
but
That's literally
yeah.
just the United States situation because it
Yeah.
was when everyone was migrating over to the new country.
everything started at
Mayflower
Ellis
and all that
Island,
stuff.
My family's never really looked into any of their like actual heritage.
Yeah.
But my dad's pretty convinced that Sonnen
Yeah.
is like we were like Sonnenbergs or one of those like other ones that have something on it, and we just like drop part of it.
Because
Well,
you're signing in.
well, the
Sonnen.
the
Sign
thing
in.
about
okay,
it,
okay.
Like if you look like there's like directors and stuff out there like the Sonnenberg and stuff,
Yeah,
and he's convinced that
yeah. Two family members are like, I'm better than you. No, I'm better than you.
he-
Well,
yeah,
I'm
like one just left off and then dropped the
Yeah.
ending of it and just left Sonnen and then
there was also
made family from there.
there was also a lot of discrimination during that period when it came to like how your last name sounded.
oh yeah, absolutely.
If you
it didn't-
sounded
if it
too
didn't
like
sound high
Italian,
up
if
or
it didn't
whatever.
if it didn't sound American, they
Yep.
changed it. Sonnenberg. Oh, Sonnenberg. That sounds too German. You're now Sonnen. Like
Right,
shit
yeah,
like that.
It
like
could be that too. Yeah, I don't know. I've never, like I said, we never looked into it. So
well,
Well,
do
okay.
it. It could be fun.
So back when we first met, one of the first things I realized was that your last name was German, and or at least it was
which
spelled
I
German.
I had a teacher, a substitute teacher actually point that out one time when she
Mhm.
was covering for the science class. She told me it meant sunshine. I think
sunbathe.
sun.
To
sunbathe,
it's,
okay.
it's actually a verb. It's to sunbathe.
Okay.
But I'm not too sure if it's pronounced.
You got some of that motherland in
because
'em.
like when you were if you were to say like the sun is bright, like you would say like die Sonne scheint, and like you would pronounce it Sona, like die Sonne.
I mean, people say sonnen
Well,
all
no,
the time.
but that's what I'm saying. So like it makes me wonder if they changed the pronunciation as well for like an Americanized last name.
That was the other thing.
Yeah.
Was they couldn't get an enunciation right.
Yep.
So they write it down how they thought it sounded.
Yep.
And that's a lot of how like names got changed too.
right.
Yep. So yeah, I don't know. It's just it's an interesting
Speaking
stuff. Coming
of
back
the
to your last name, it's
entire
cool.
world.
Big world.
Steam Valve ships all hardware orders either from a warehouse in the United States located in Carroll Stream, Illinois, or from a warehouse.
It's
Miller
kinda
versus
interesting.
Miller.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Carroll Stream, Illinois, or from a warehouse in the European Union located in Tilburg,
Tilburg.
the Netherlands.
Oh.
There's
Netherlands?
also
Everything ships out of the Netherlands.
Netherlands.
Illinois, Tilburg in the Netherlands,
Mm.
or they have a partner company that they work with for just Japan orders
Wow.
in Japan.
So there's only 3 shipping like
Well,
main
They
stations.
get all
if
around
you-
the world.
If you think about it, though, going from Netherlands to Turkey is a lot less distance. Than
Oh, yeah,
coming from
I mean,
the
that makes
US.
sense. That actually makes a
100%.
lot of sense.
Yeah. Honestly, and like thinking about it being in Illinois, a lot of shipping locations. I mean, think about the Amazon location that's just south of here. I mean, there's massive shipping locations that are in the Midwest
Mhm.
because it's central, U.S.
Centrally, I mean
Go- you
that's
go
that's
east
what like
and west,
Indiana
both
is
ways.
a giant fucking hub for moving
Yep.
stuff back and forth. And with the conversation of the world and in other gaming news, the global version of Steam has been banned in China.
Really?
So people in China can no longer play
Use Steam?
anything on Steam.
The article that I'm reading off of here is
Well,
from The Verge.
it did say global, so maybe they have their own
Yeah.
specific
There is
version.
China
Yeah.
Steam. China Steam's been out for about a little yet less than a year so
oh,
far.
wow. I didn't even know that was a
Yeah,
thing.
but the only
It
games
probably follows their restrictions because China has a lot of
Yeah.
restrictions
Oh, yeah,
on
they
stuff
do.
like even just like movies and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like the posters we see here, the posters are different in China because of like
way they can show it.
the way they
and
the things they can
big
show.
thing is like about for us is video games. The way that they change video games.
Yeah,
I mean, PUBG had a mode specifically so it wouldn't show blood for Koreans.
Yeah.
right.
It
So-
would show like blue splatter and stuff.
So this came out the day after. This came out Christmas Day. This happened on Christmas Day, December 25th. This happened, and I did some previous research on this too because I wanted to get a little bit more information because this is pretty impactful for Valve as a company.
for the whole company in general.
30 million users on Steam. 30 million lost access to their global Steam accounts from China.
Which is huge.
From China, just from China.
Just from China. Because I don't know if you know this, but China, I believe, like the China user account makes up for about, I think it was somewhere between 20 and 30% of Steam's actual user base.
Okay.
Crazy.
And
That is surprising, honestly.
yeah, 30 million.
There's a lot of people. It's a big country.
Yeah.
Well,
A
yeah,
lot of people
yeah.
in that big ass country.
30 million people all around that lost access to their accounts. They can still use some features on the
But they
Chinese
don't have their
version.
items and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Anymore. They don't
That's
have their
where it's-
inventory.
that's where
their
it's
games,
scuffed, dude.
Like everything. All the things that they spent money on and was technically owned they can't access.
Exactly. But like obviously there's ways to circumvent that with things like VPNs, but the problem is if you
Do
start
VPNs work in China?
they can, but like you literally risk you getting killed.
Yeah.
I was gonna
Because-
say, that's actually breaking the law there to use a VPN. And
Not only do you get killed, but then your
Your
family gets
family,
fucked.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a big deal. So I'm gonna read a little bit of this here for you guys. So Steam Global seems to have been banned in China, according to a report from The Gamer. Only the Chinese version of Steam remains accessible in the country, which currently offers a limited library of just 103 games, a very small fraction
What?
of
That's
over
it?
Out of its like 700,000 games.
of over the 110,000 games that
Yeah.
Steam Global has at this time of writing.
wow.
Reliable Fortnite leaker and data miner Ricky Owens, aka iFireMonkey, first noticed the ban and tweeted out a screenshot of what appears to be Steam on a blocked list of websites in China. We tried to verify it for ourselves using a tool that checks whether a site is blocked in China. Upon entering store.steampower.com into the site, the tool indicates that Steam has been blocked in all parts of the country. As for store.steamchina.com, however, the tool says that the domain is still available, which is the Chinese iteration of Steam that Steam released specifically for China to make sure that Chinese users still have access to some of the games.
I
Sure.
just don't understand. I want to know, like, do you think Counter-Strike is still on that list? Probably.
Yes.
Probably.
So to continue, it's so funny because you're asking questions that are literally the next thing in line here. The ban leaves Chinese gamers with access to just Steam China, which first launched in February of this year. In addition to having fewer games, with the only mainstream titles being Counter-Strike Global Offensive and Dota 2, the only two. That's the two
That's
mainstream
so
ones.
Stupid.
Yeah.
Two Valve games. and
Literally,
that's what
no.
they could
It's
just get away
literally the
with.
main two games on Steam.
Yeah. Yep. Well, also, I don't know if you know this, but those are actually the two most popular games in China as
yeah.
like a total. Like it's very popular. there.
No, I know. It's just like, it's just interesting.
So this will gonna rock your noggin here. So Steam China also comes without any community features, including the Steam Workshop, community market, discussion forums, and the activity section that shows current broadcasts from users on Steam, recent screenshots from games, community-made guides, and more.
It's literally so they don't have to sit there and sift through the information to try and manage it.
Yep.
It's literally just get rid of it if you're not going to manage it. kind of thing.
Exactly. So China's
That's
apparent.
crazy, man.
Yeah. China's apparent ban on Steam Global is a rough way to end a year that the country has just spent cracking down on gaming. In July, Tencent rolled out a facial recognition technology that scans kids' faces to keep them in compliance with the 10 p.m. curfew that China has set to prevent kids from gaming late at night.
Wow.
1
Did
month.
you say 10 cent?
Yeah, Tencent made it. Yep. Just one. Tencent made this. Was contracted by the Chinese government.
The fact that it's 10 cent.
Yeah. So just 1 month later, China implemented a new rule that restricts minors from playing games for more than 3 hours per week. So if you're below the ages of 18, you get 3 hours a week to play video games.
3 hours a week.
Yep.
Could you imagine only playing 3 hours a week?
So I'm going
No.
to.
I have not. I've played probably 7 million times that to this age already.
I could play 3 hours. Hey,
Hi, Margot.
not here right now.
She'll
She's at
be
dinner.
here soon.
A wild Margot has walked in.
Yep.
My date got canceled.
Fuck that guy. Fuck that girl.
Well, she doesn't feel good.
Well,
Okay.
Okay,
Go
to-
fuck that girl.
to be fair,
I'm joking. I'm joking.
to be fair, if the date had gone well, she might have gone to fuck that girl. So
Exactly.
Well, I think I might ask Theo to hang out with my good friends instead.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
So I was gonna say,
No. She didn't. She did not get stood up.
if you want,
Nope.
They
she didn't get
canceled.
stood-
They-
she didn't
they-
get stood
they
up.
actually
She's
It
good.
was just canceled.
if you wanted to come hang out.
Yeah, later on, if you guys are there, I'll come swing by.
Bye, Margot.
Be here.
Yep. So to continue, after I read a little bit more of this, I'm gonna comment gonna comment something because like I said, I did a ton of research on this because I was like,
Man,
like,
this is crazy. I did not know anything about this.
and
I
this
didn't
is
even know this existed.
yeah, it's mind.
Like I knew China's like
Well, yeah, China's
restrictions,
how
restrictions, but-
limiting and free,
but
but
for
like
gaming.
yeah.
I know. The only thing I ever heard about was Overwatch. Overwatch had a huge like lashback.
Well, and that was
also
big in Hong Kong when all that stuff was going
exactly.
on. All the stuff that's reading about with like the curfews, the 3 hour gaming restrictions, and all that kind of stuff. That's what partially not the sole reason, but it also helped
a very
fuel the
big
flames
thing,
as to like what was going on over there.
Which is completely understandable.
Yep. So okay, restricts my. I was my comment was gonna be I could fucking play 3 hours of video games in my sleep.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right. For more than
Get up
3
on
hours
the
a week. China later banned Fortnite, even though the game was already heavily modified to comply with China's strict rules. So that's the end of this particular
There's
article.
no blood in there.
I'm again going to cite this is an article I read from The Verge,
No one
posted
actually ever
on
dies.
December
Right,
25th,
Exactly.
and it was written by Emma Roth. But that I did a little bit more research and I found
I
out.
did not know anything about that.
Yeah, so China right now is going through this weird phase where like I don't know if you guys know, but like obviously it's they're famous for this, but they did the whole like limiting how many children that you could have born and of what
Which
with
they
sex
did.
and
They did.
everything.
We talked about this on the first podcast actually.
Yeah.
But we found out that they kind of lifted
It's
up on it.
loosen, very loosen. But this is part of the reason why it is. So China's trying to do this thing right now where they have like I don't know if you ever heard of their like social credit system that they have right now. So basically the way it works is if you are a plus family and you go get married and you have 3 kids and you're doing all this A plus family stuff and you're promoting good family growth in China.
I was waiting for you to
yeah.
finish that. I was just gonna say it's like that Black Mirror episode where everyone's based off of
It's
like,
social points.
Yeah.
So you have a social score.
So they do. So
But it's more. Go ahead. Yeah.
So they have this social score, and you get scored, and you get more points for promoting a more for living a happy family life. Like
Right.
like in China, obviously that's kind of up to them to decide what that is, what a happy family life is. In their eyes, that's spending more time with your family, making sure that your kids are educated, making sure that you are contributing to their society, and making sure that you're having lots of kids. Now think about it. In the United States, our population is still growing, but definitely not as significantly as it was go back 20, 30, 40 years ago.
Right.
Definitely slowed down a lot, and that's because there's a lot of people that are more content being with themselves. Big families aren't necessarily a huge thing
social
anymore.
standards have been changing too.
Yeah, exactly. And our
Yes.
living conditions have changed. We don't need to have 10 kids to have 3 of them survive. You know what I mean?
Well,
like,
yeah.
I mean that's
I get you. Like back in like the 1800s.
well,
say that's-
for us, but China just recently is still recovering or getting past that. I mean, you have to remember, you go back 30, 40, 50 years in China,
about 50 years ago, it was
the
pretty
mortality rate over there was garbage.
It was pretty rough.
So what happened is they have this massive growing population right now of all this this massive workforce that's happening, and you've got fewer kids because of they put like population restrictions on.
Yeah.
So they have this upside down graph right now of like population. They've got not too many like old people that they're supporting
Well,
right
yeah,
now.
it always has a.
They have this thick, fat populace of working class.
50 to 20.
Yeah, like your 40 to like 20-year-old population, and they've got this teeny tiny little sliver of young people. And as those generations get older, all of a sudden the generation's going to hit where that huge workforce is
really
all going to
old.
retire at the same time. And China's growth with all the great stuff that they're doing for themselves right now depends.
The longer that smaller, younger youth section stays small,
Yep.
the more inevitable that in a lifetime span it'll change drastically.
Yep. So right now they're panicking. China's in this state of panic that they've realized that shit.
They need to equal up their numbers in order to have a equal workforce in the future.
Yeah, then they make more kids.
And to go full circle, people who are spending time playing video games aren't going out and making babies to support their insane population shit that they did.
I mean,
And I'm not even kidding. That is literally what they're
I play
thinking.
a lot of video games, and I have a kid. I don't know.
One though.
like-
You have one kid.
I mean,
China
I don't know,
wants
who
you to
knows?
have 3
Maybe
kids.
we'll have another one. Who knows?
You know, China will pay you. They pay
I'm
their
gonna have
citizens
2
to have
more kids.
more kids.
and then go to China.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make my kids grow up white and have an Asian accent. So be like, what the heck?
I would
Dad,
suggest
can I come
against
play
that. I would highly.
I'm not
suggest
racist.
against
Sorry
that.
about that.
Well, to be fair, also they would most likely pick up accent from you guys at home, and unless you guys are doing
No, I mean
shitty
it would be different
Asian
if I were to
accents.
actually like be speaking. Imagine giving your kid an accent, intentionally
I could pull it off.
speaking away your entire life.
Yo.
hello, Kenzie.
What
Hey.
up, Kenzie? How's it
Hello.
going?
Are you going to Bogies?
Not right away.
Okay.
I'm like, I'm really full.
I mean, you've been driving.
I'm so full.
Okay. Okay. Anyway, so,
yeah.
we what do you guys think of that? Like millions of
mean-
those users just
If
I feel bad.
if I had my position right now with where I am in Steam, I literally would immediately try and file some type of lawsuit, get some type of. Think about
You
how much
can't.
money.
Well, I
think
mean-
about how much money.
Yeah,
Dude,
but
you
the
have to be
thing
able.
is-
It's an out of country company, and you have to be able to find a way to get.
The thing
there has to
is,
be.
you're not suing Steam. It's not Steam's fault.
You're not
You're
suing.
suing.
No, you're not. No,
well,
you're not
you
even
d-
trying
you-
to sue.
You're talking about a lawsuit.
you can't
you
sue
have to-
China though.
Right. That's the thing. You
As
can't
a
just
citizen,
sue
you don't
the
have
government.
that power.
No, you don't.
China
I mean,
dictates
it
what
has
you
to be
do.
it has to be like a large uproar. I mean, look at what happened with Blizzard. That has to happen on a very big scale.
I think that the populace over there is honestly kind of at the mercy of what their government chooses right now. I honestly think
I mean,
that
it's pretty communistic.
I mean, it is. China's communist. I mean, that's as like cut and plain. They make that very apparent.
Right. Right.
Like that is the U.S. end goal is to keep that as contained as
Eradicate
possible.
communism.
And that's why
Which
China has their
It'll
great
happen
firewall.
eventually. It'll happen. You know it'll happen in time.
Well,
You- imagine this: a kid nowadays trying to do his young self life as he sees everyone doing it in America, and he becomes into politics, and he becomes the next main heir of China. However that works, whatever it may be.
They have elections. But
Well, yeah, no, it's not elections.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's forceful.
yeah.
You're gonna vote for that guy, right? Like you're voting
Yeah.
for him.
Like
they
they
go to
they
each
hand
house.
out
It's
the
a
ballots
census.
and they have one name on
Yeah,
it. You know, like
Right.
It's not even that. They're just like, all right, sign your name here. All right, thank you.
Yep.
It's just like a waiver that you're signing.
and it's unfortunate because like I mean if you think about like imagine sitting in our positions, right? Because this also falls back into people like here in the United States where what if our government decides that there's
Anything.
not enough working class people that want to go get jobs. I mean you can go drive through any industrial park in the United States right now and you could probably count at least 10 we are now looking for work people that want to work.
yeah,
But
absolutely.
the problem with the United States right now is we're in this weird state where like there's a lot of places in the United States to be able to make money that doesn't require you to actually have to like do it I use this term very loosely, but like a dirty job, working in a warehouse, clean manufacturing, any sort of like labor
something
job.
that isn't a desk job, or
Right.
Like something
Right.
No. I'm talking. Desk jobs are fine. I'm talking about
No, I know,
working, like
I'm
getting up
saying-
and like
Yeah,
working, like
Physical
stuff like
labor.
stuff that all of us have done
Yeah.
in the past or are doing now. And me too. Like actually using your hands,
Yeah.
building something,
physically
like
going
manufacturing,
out and doing
shit like
something
that.
rather than sitting at a desk and inputting data or something like that.
So that's interesting because if you think about that, the United States has been kind of farming and pushing that work to other countries to handle that for us and everything. And we are kind of more or less, the United States is this big hub of moving goods and content around and like this whole like, management of what's going on. But like when does that change happen? Because China's looking at this right now going, oh shit, we're not going to have people to manufacture all the stuff that's like communism depends on there being a strong working class that are okay doing that.
Yeah,
And they're going to start making that transition at some point where those people are going to start becoming closer to like what the United States wants to, what we're transitioning into.
This
And
gets
then what
into
happens?
this gets into the topic of
Who's going to make shit?
that gets into like the topic of convenience.
Yeah.
Convenience is killing the working class, and production towards the future of humanity in general. Because at what cost of convenience are you going to stop physically doing something? You know what I mean?
even
Everyone
office
wants to
jobs.
get to the point where you can just sit back and do everything without doing anything, because who wants to work, right? But like some people obviously get attuned to their living, working for a living.
What blows my mind is like stuff like what I do with Honda, right? You know what I do parts. I literally we're like a middleman logistics system for moving parts from point A to point B for people that are fixing these cars, right?
Yeah.
Now think about this. Amazon, what they're doing, how they move parts around in there, or not parts, but packages around and goods around to people, they've already completely, fully automized that entire industry.
I mean, yeah, you still need people.
Yeah, but all the people do is they just have the robots put the packages on their table and they just tape the box and send it out and make sure that they just do a quick double check to make sure everything's right. Now imagine my job being replaced. Now it's leaking into desk jobs. You know what I mean?
This is the same company that also made drones delivery.
I mean, they're trying to initialize.
But it's cheaper, it's faster, it's more efficient.
Right,
they never have to sleep. They don't have to get paid. You don't have to pay them.
That's the future of it, though. I mean, and that's like, you want to progress as a humanity, but that's the cost of becoming a more advanced civilization. But that's also at the point of where it could be the crash of a civilization. I mean, everyone always. There's a theory that if any civilization gets too technologically advanced, they will extinct themselves. And that is
the
how
damn robots took my gerb.
That's how they see every single time, like, you know, millions or probably more like thousands of years from now, as the human race progresses, will the Earth be a place where humans will live and like thrive, and they're gonna fix the planet and make it a home base, or is it going to be a nuked, desolate, radioactive husk of rock?
We need to get off this planet as soon as we can.
That's not even the case, though. We have to do that now because we destroyed it already.
I know.
We're at the
the Earth is a ticking time bomb. Like
it's already past the time of trying to fix it.
We are
like 4 years gone.
I agree. I agree
gone.
with that. Like we are destined. It's sort of like the whole idea of manifest destiny. You know, like we are people want to expand to see and go to other planets. We will live eventually on other planets. It will happen. How deep into this do you want? How Joe Rogan you want to go? I want to ask you a question. I want both your guys.
I guess it depends because you guys both have your phones out ready to talk about topics.
No, for me, I just
pulled it up.
I'm just saying because I'm in the position where you guys hit my bread and butter.
My topics are literally when we run out of off this track.
Yeah, I got you.
So my question for you, and I'm gonna say a statement, and then that kind of like plays into this and everything. So we're talking about, you know, like civilizations becoming advanced, people not having to necessarily like work physical jobs anymore because there'll be better systems, more efficient systems put into place that normally, ideally, wouldn't require people to have to do those jobs anymore.
Yep.
So what about countries like let's look at a very unfortunate situation that is happening right now in our world, and it's like the current state of, like, let's say Africa. That whole continent
the indigenous
has a lot
Africa.
has a lot of issues with it right now, where it's a corrupt landscape where governments allow big buyers like oil companies and other companies that want to suck the natural resources out of, and all they have to do is pay off these governments to allow them to do that. But also they're not hiring people from Africa to work those jobs. They ship people out there that know how to do it already, and they have those people. So these poor people in Africa stay poor because the big companies that are making money aren't doing it, and the government's allowing it because the elites in Africa are the only ones benefiting from it. So my question with that, because this falls into how far, I think I might have asked you this already, but how far left behind?
Oh yeah, you have.
Does a group of people, individuals, a civilization, how far left behind do they have to be until it's too late to save them?
I mean, so
like in your eyes, how the hell?
There you can go three ways about this in my eyes. You could either A, leave them there and just forget it all happened. You could either B, help them.
Wouldn't you be worried that those people could become dangerous then?
Well, and then the thing is you could just give it to them. You could just give them that life. You don't have to help them build it. You could just give it to them. But which one would you want to do? You know, which of the three would you do?
Well, in a perfect world, if we have everything making everything for us, it wouldn't matter.
Yeah,
it wouldn't matter anymore.
exactly.
You could give it to them.
You could just give it to them right out.
But think about this. Think about this for a minute.
It's like
you're
Space
looking.
Raiders
We
or
are
some
we are
shit.
talking about people.
It's become the 100. It's gonna be the grounders on the fucking planet Earth that become radiant monsters.
And we are also, keep in mind, we are talking about people that don't even have that.
They don't have housing.
They don't have housing. They don't
Water.
even like they don't have basic.
They don't
human,
even have purchasable clothing.
Right. They don't have basic survival things that they need to live a normal life. They don't have like clean water. They don't have proper housing. They don't have healthcare. How do you assimilate that culture, that the way they live, into something so like, okay, you guys are officially left too far behind. You are now on what's considered whatever model this welfare system is going to be, to give you guys the minimum quality of life that you need, because everywhere else in the world is gotten
Too technologically
too advanced, and you guys are gonna just sit here and live your lives.
So
and we're gonna move you, and we're gonna use your land like.
Yeah, I mean, no, and it's a situation like it's something that you like. Are you gonna decide the destiny?
Who
of a whole-
decides
Yeah,
that? That's
exactly,
the
yeah.
other thing. Who decides something like that? There's so many morals and ethic things that are wrong with that, but at the same time, it's a crazy question, because
It's like it's the first time you would ever take a human and treat it like a rat.
yeah,
well, we've kind of done that
Well,
previously.
okay, not the first time accepted by the humanity in itself. Humanity treating another human
if
race.
we ever reach that point, it would not be accepted entirely by humanity.
No,
it would
of course
be,
not. Oh,
it
of
would
course
be
not.
exactly like it was back when we did it previously, and it would be looked down upon by certain people, whereas it's praised upon by the others.
it would be one of the most controversial
people
things that have ever been happened with
and the people
humanity.
that are okay with it will look down even more on the people that are against it.
a lot of segregation. I mean, it's the idea of two parties right there.
It would quite literally be that case again. Like erasing race out of it entirely. If it was just the case of like the less technical advanced versus the more technical advanced, that if you were let's just teach them how to use it. The higher ups would look down at you and go, well, I don't want to teach those apes how to work my technology, blah blah blah.
Well, so here's the thing about
Those
it.
Neanderthals,
You see those like documentary videos of people going out, and like you've seen the
If it's anything Vice, I've seen
it. Yeah, exactly right. All of the inventions of like the filtering straw, and like people going out and like giving immunizations to be able to keep people safe and whatnot. Like I feel like that is the human attempt to keep them in the loop and to also help them live, because I mean, think about it. They're probably the older generation. They're the oldest generation of humans that are left on the planet, of those like all these indigenous groups that are people that we probably not even met yet.
Africa is unfortunately referred to. There's a lot of sub communities, and undeniably that continent, it's not a country, that continent has undeniably some of the most unique cultures in humanity.
Deepest cultures.
Yeah, that too.
They never had the technology to kind of get away from those cultures, so they stuck to their cultures for this long.
Right, yeah. which I think is incredibly important, because I think with modernization, keeping culture and identity along with that is super super important, because like how that's sort of like that's your heritage, that's what you are. I think there is importance to be that, but at the same time, we are all humans. We are humanity. Well, how do we progress humanity further when there's a massive populace of humanity that no matter how much help they get from like foreign aid, other countries, direct support with things like you said, vaccinations and schools, like people from other countries going and trying to like educate this populace, we have done so much for the people there, but at the same time it's sort of like their government doesn't help them. Other people, individuals, organizations are going there trying to help, but then you have their own government that are snuffing these people out and because
not even helping,
they don't want to help. So it goes to the big question: how do you help somebody that doesn't want to help themselves?
I mean, a good case in point in this is like the Amish.
These people are helpless.
The Amish choose not to go with our technological advances.
Yeah, but I feel like it would be different if they were segregated to a continent that was far away from any civilization.
The problem with like using Amish for this example, in my opinion, is that like it's what you said. It's a choice for them to do that.
they lived away. They lived in society and they broke
Right.
away. On
Amish
their
people
own
nowadays
accord.
have fucking computers and laptops and like can do stuff
on
if
like
they need
weekends
to.
or whatever.
Yeah, if they need to.
Oh, do that?
Yeah,
I honestly don't know.
It depends.
There's
different levels. It's like a vegetarian. There's different kinds of vegetarians. There's different kinds of Amish.
There's levels between vegan and vegetarian.
Exactly.
Amish also have access to things like electricity if they want. They have access to clean drinking water. People in Africa that we're referring to don't even have that.
They don't have the option.
That's why it's so hard to compare. Like
I was just bringing it up as like there's people who choose not to do it, and there's people in Africa who
they don't have a choice.
They don't have a choice. They're kind of just left behind.
Amish and vegetarians are the same. Confirmed. I mean, fundamentally, yeah, sure.
There's different types of them. You know,
Yeah.
they do whatever.
I
they
mean,
want.
I'm pretty sure Amish still.
That's a very
hunt
controversial
and-
statement,
hunt
but
and
we'll let it slide.
kill
What if you're
animals
Amish
to eat.
and vegetarian at the same time?
A vegetarian Amish?
I'm
a
sure
vegan
you
Amish?
could.
Hold on.
Hot
I
take.
have to take away from this real quick.
Yeah,
Have
yeah.
you guys seen? There was a TikTok. It was a bigger one. It had like a couple million views on it. But it was these people who picked up some random Amish guy, and like went and like had a party with him and like lived his life with him and like had him break all his Amish laws.
Was he on
Kenzie
like?
knows what I'm talking about.
Was he on like
He was on the side of the road. People drove by, picked him
But
up
was
in
it
the
was
car.
he on
and
his
was like,
like
hey,
birthday
man.
thing? What was it called, Ramstein or whatever?
Where
Where they get a chance to get
No.
away from the Amish
Nope.
lifestyle.
It was literally just him randomly
They just
being.
picked him up
Mhm.
and he just kind of left.
He's like, yeah, fuck it. Like, yeah, let's go drink and have a party and shit. Kenzie will find it.
We'll have to watch it later. But I mean, I'm curious. Now.
Kenzie,
It's just a
Kenzie,
funny
if you
video
find it,
because
send it to me.
on the topic of Amish, it's funny.
I think this topic is very interesting, and like all of us, I think we can agree probably don't have any of the qualifications to be able to answer
Oh,
that
God,
question.
Mm.
And like just to like lay that out there, we our scope and knowledge of like what actually happens.
This
and
is all
everything-
base opinion.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is
None of this is factual.
That's all it is.
Besides like what he was reading off the article and stuff, but like this is all just our own based opinions and how the world kind of works and
Our own
how it
mind
could
on
potentially work in the future once we reach a certain point.
we live in
Yeah.
a very like, especially us, we live in a very like digital world. We live heavily
I
online.
mean, yeah.
We a lot of this stuff that we do.
Says the VR chat man.
well, no, well,
No,
But-
I know.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I every time I put that headset on, I think about the fact that like what I'm doing to some
That you're a step closer to Ready Player One.
well to some people that like there are people out there that don't even realize how close we actually are to like that
Living
style
virtual lives?
being viable, being able to make money from
They
it.
don't even think about the fact that it exists.
Right, they don't even know it exists and it's
That's-
there and it's happening and like
the possibility of making money. There are people making money from it.
and that's my point.
Dude,
that's my whole point. We are
imagine if-
so close to that being a viable thing from very many people.
Imagine you filled a box with a index, a computer, and a generator, and you took it to an indigenous tribe sitting out in the middle of.
They think that I just teleported them to fucking Star Trek
Yeah,
age
yeah.
or something.
Literally just pop on like the kaleidoscope like app on the
Anything.
on the VR.
just
set.
just a simple fact that you're showing them something space age.
I could
you
bring
would-
that headset to them
you
and I
would
could tour
literally-
the world with them in fucking VR.
For them, you would be creating the instance of the Egyptians. Exactly what happened with the pyramids, with like the whole thing of like apparently a god came down or aliens came down and like did whatever. It'd be no different. We came down in a helicopter and dropped off these things that teleported them to a new realm. You know what I mean?
And that's like my whole point is look at it's insane to think how far we are right now and how close we are. And there are people doing it right now where they live 100% digital lives and they make money
Yeah.
from it. They pay their rent with it. They don't do a lot of like I mean, they still live their normal lives. They got to go grocery shopping, all that kind of stuff. But you can live a totally functional life, and it has been proven and it's being done, a fully virtual life,
Mm-hmm.
and never actually realistically have to leave your house.
Right.
You can do that.
and there's each side of the spectrum. Like we're saying, like there's a fully digital life, and then there's the third world countries that still live in like the stereotypical like caveman hunt for food lifestyle.
Yep.
Like there's both sides of the spectrum throughout this entire world.
No, right. Yeah, no, 100%. And I think diversity and like the way that works in different lifestyles is important, because that's the whole basis of culture right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole basis of culture. That's why I refer back to it, because a lot of that stuff, you know, you can start to I feel like when you get closer to like this like technology utopia, if you will, you start to lose identity and culture.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that's really important to still maintain. But at the same time, like, we can't have people not having access to basic human necessities.
I mean, we've been literally doing that ever since we probably knew they started existing in like the early 1900s. Like that's probably when we started realizing that there was indigenous groups outside of where
And like
we
the
were.
Amazon jungles and stuff that are still out there. Yeah. Yeah,
Ever
there's
since
one
then,
that they
we
found.
haven't
There's
been able to do anything about.
Yeah, there's an article of one that they found that I remember reading a couple years ago, where they found this group of people that they're completely isolated and they have no.
They have
fucking
literally no
clue.
idea
Yeah.
what exists outside.
They have no
of
idea.
their-
And
They have
there's
no
there's like a NATO ruling in place right now with
Where
all
you
like the
can't go
countries and stuff.
anywhere
That
around.
there's an exclusion zone for that
Mhm.
because they don't know what like diseases they might have.
Yep.
They
Right.
don't know like
Oh, yeah.
what we might do to them if we show up and everything. There's this, and they're being studied from fucking satellite
Yeah.
to watch what they do.
It's a weird connection, but bringing up diseases just makes me think of like War of the Worlds.
Yeah.
Of like,
Yep.
you know, the aliens invaded, and the thing that kills them is the fucking common cold.
Well, right, and
Right.
that's the whole idea. That's
Like,
that's
yeah,
the
just-
whole
just-
idea.
Just imagine what viruses could be transmitted between the two because they've been so separated.
Mm-hmm.
Like yeah, we all got like COVID-19 going around. That's never been experienced over there probably.
No.
Right.
And God knows what it could do to them with their immune systems, because
Yeah.
their immune systems are built completely different to what ours are
Yeah.
in this
Mhm.
modern day.
Well, in general, I mean, in different parts of the world, you have different immune systems.
But
all over
that's
the
why when
place,
you go
but
travel
these
to
are somewhat
countries-
common because, I mean, for the most part, at least, you know, there's a lot of culture going around, a lot of genetics.
Well,
that
that's
have
why
been
if
mixed.
that's why if you travel to like China or like Europe and stuff, you have to go get shots for certain things.
Oh yeah,
that,
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the whole reason for it.
When I went over there when I was in high school, I remember I gave blood a lot, and I used to have to say that I went over to Europe, but I didn't go to the certain countries.
That's something I aspire to. I have yet to leave America in my lifetime.
I went to Mexico briefly. It was nothing special, but
Once you do
I
I
mean,
didn't
it's-
go
it's-
anywhere cool in
once
Mexico.
you do it, you realize how small the world actually is. It's crazy. It's big, but it's not that big.
My dream destination will always probably be England. I
England?
want to go to England in my lifetime.
Just because of old timey feel, or
Old timey feel. I've always been a huge fan of like Doctor Who, and I
Oh,
kind of want
fair
You
to
can go to
enough.
London
I
and
wanna,
go get
I wanna
stabbed.
see. I want
Oh
to
my
see the
God.
tourist attraction. I want to see Big Ben. I want to see the wheel.
you're
Like,
gonna be like
I
the
wanna
trains
see all
guy
of
that's
that.
over there. What's that guy's name? Felix.
Not to mention, you know, like on a conversation like what we're having with all this technology shit, we are launching a like $13 billion fucking satellite that's on its way. Right, I think it launched. Am I right? This new satellite that came out.
Yeah, remember we watched? Or no, it launches December. No, yeah, it did. Yeah,
it's
it
out.
launched.
It's
yeah,
out.
it
Yeah,
launched.
it's out. It's on its way right now. This is gonna let us see back to what they're saying when
They-
NASA's
they
claiming
are literally claiming that it's a time machine.
that it's supposed to be so powerful, so big, so special that it is supposed to be able to see light from literally the birth of the universe.
Which I'm gonna be
That
honest,
far out.
When you think about it, if we came from that
Thanks,
point,
man.
I thought about this when they previously brought it up that was the case.
Yeah.
Like we moved away from that point, so wouldn't we technically be seeing light that would have been moving away from the Big Bang that's catching up with us now because of
No, so you have to remember that the way it works is like let's say
if you're leaving from one point, aren't you leaving with that light? Why would you be able to see what's behind you?
if this is our planet, if this
Would
is
that
our
work?
planet,
Because your
and
light's
this-
moving faster than
this
where we
light,
move away from it.
this is our planet, this is the star.
Yeah.
This star
I do
starts
get your
shining.
point. I understand.
Well,
What
yeah,
Yeah, I
no,
get what you're saying,
There's
but,
there's a difference of time, of course, but that happened 52 billion years ago or whatever it was.
That's the whole point. Because remember, if that star disappears and it's that far away, if it's 52 billion light years away,
are they suggesting that we're going to see it on the other end, like at how far it's traveled outward?
Maybe I'm getting my head stuck on a on a certain
I see where you're
technicality.
going with, and I totally get it.
Because like I get that if something is 13 million light years away, it would take 13 million light years for that light to get to us because that's the light, blah blah blah, whatever. But if we came from that point that we're trying to look at, why would we have to wait to see that time? How would we?
Because when the light turns off from the other place,
we're coming from the light. We were at that light. Why can we see it now? The Big Bang started from like one single spot.
That's what this telescope's supposed to see.
You know what I mean, though. You see where I'm
I see what you're saying, but
Yeah.
what you have to remember is this telescope is supposed to see things that we can't currently see.
Well,
This is supposed to see like light.
No, I
Like
get
imagine
it.
something being
You
so
can
far,
see
so
it.
far away, so
Technically, you
long
can
away.
see to the point of where the Big Bang started, but technically we wouldn't be able to see our past selves coming at us.
Right. So
no.
wait, you're
seeing
thinking
the
of
distance.
visible light. You're thinking of visible light.
Well, I guess
There's-
it is infrared
There's
that
stuff
they're
that's
doing.
out there. There's stuff that's out there that's so dim and so far away that it doesn't actually show a physical
No, I get you. Yeah,
light
it's
that we can
infrared.
see. It's infrared. Yeah. So that's what they're seeing is old.
I just feel like the
dim.
statement saying that it's going to be able to see back to the Big Bang.
We'll find out.
is-
We'll find
you
out.
know what I mean, though?
maybe-
They're
maybe
talking
it's
about
just
from the
epoch. They're talking about like the
Yeah.
epoch and like
No,
that's
I know.
that's like if NASA pulls that off.
If what I'm gonna be honest, even if they do find anything, we're not gonna hear about it forever because it has to go through governmental clearance and like exposure for media. I mean, unless it just gets leaked. But I mean,
maybe on their
NASA
end-
is a government
Yeah,
funded.
you
company,
are right about
so
that,
like,
and I hate. Yeah.
it sucks that that's the
If
case.
Flex
but
says y'all making my head hurt. I
dude,
know.
trust me, nerd. I'm hurting my own head because I'm going against what I know in physics and like how light reacts. It doesn't make any sense to be able to think that you can look. Yeah, it's a complicated subject.
To me now I'm thinking of like the phrasing. I don't think they're saying that they're physically going to look into the past.
Yeah.
I
Well,
think
no,
they're
of course not.
they're saying that they're going to see where like they're
Where we
going to be
came
able to find the
from.
origin point
Yeah.
with this telescope.
Which I just don't. I'm curious if they have a concept of where, because we don't have an idea of where we are.
Or where
in
it
space.
started. No.
Like what's
There's
what's
no
the
coordinates.
what's the
We don't know
anchor point? Yeah, what's the anchor point? Where's
That's
the
what they're
anchor
trying to
where
see.
we are?
That's because like the current map of the universe that we have understanding is sort of like a cone.
Yeah.
It's sort of like this
Well,
weird.
that's for the time.
It's supposed to like map
Frame.
time
Yeah.
with the cone.
Yep.
Which
And
gives
expansion.
the universe a theoretical like
Timeline.
tubular
Yeah. If you're
physical
thinking about
appearance
its
and like
time, yeah.
ovular or
Yep.
whatever. So the theory that I understand it as, and this is the theory that I understand it as, not what it is, is that there is an edge to this. Like the universe expands forever, but that forever is just forever because we don't actually know what
Until it is.
until it
I mean,
stops.
theoretically, I do believe that there
I-
is an end to the universe, and I think there's other universes that we're floating in. But I personally feel like it's not going to be this. Oh, you can see this, you could touch this edge.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be something like that. I think it's going to be something more along the lines of in Portal. You know how portals work and how you can like go through portals to take you back to the same places. Like I forgot what the
Ben
effect
is
is
asking if
called
we think
in
the
the
universe
maps,
is
but you
flat.
know exactly what I'm talking about. Where you like you can get in a loop. I think it's going to be something like that, but it's going to be like almost like chained universes next to each other, different timelines.
You know how like when you see light hit like a black hole and it does that like weird
the
arc or whatever.
the lensing effect.
What if it was like that, where like it's sort of like an inside out version of that, where if you get to one edge, it does do what you just said, kind of, and literally kind of like loops you back.
Oh, so you're saying that when you're looking at a black hole, that's the edge of the universe? And
Like,
you're
what
going
if our
through it?
universe was like a black hole, and we are in this point? Like, when you actually get out that far, you can't actually, so it loops you back. Because
Okay, you know what? We're fucking here. What do you guys think about black holes? Let's talk about them.
I mean,
What's your guys' concepts on black holes?
I don't know much about it, honestly.
Okay.
I know there's the concept of the fact that they literally suck in everything, including gravity and time itself.
Ben says, I get so many of them on my shifts.
Black holes? That's pretty hot.
I don't know what that.
What is that supposed to imply?
I don't know what that
Oh
implies.
no, I think he's talking about the flat earthers. If you look a couple up, he's talking about flat earthers.
Oh, he gets flat earthers. Okay, I thought he was talking about black holes. I was like, what the fuck does that mean?
So, funny enough, I actually was just going through my notifications real quick. There's a notification. James Webb Telescope successfully deployed antenna. So
That's step
it's-
one. That's step
well, yeah,
one.
that's the thing. That's
of
the
like
thing.
300, just
it's
saying.
going to be. It is a very complicated process over the next. I think it's 3 months is going to be the deploy process.
I thought it was 7 weeks. Is that 3 months? 7 weeks? 3 months?
3, 6, 9. About 2.5 months. I would
Okay.
say.
Yeah. So
2 months.
after the antenna, I think they're doing
Alright,
the
Kevin.
solar panel.
I do not know the process. All I know is that it is going to be a long process, and all of it has to go exactly right.
Yeah. So it's antenna, then solar panels, then it's doing the giant reflector shield, which
Well,
is a
very
300 part
very,
process.
very last thing that they're going to be deploying is going to be the actual the 3-layered
the
heat
shield. Yeah, which is a
Where
300
it-
part process.
like an origami where it's like that is going to be crazy, dude, because it's just going to be like folding out, and then it has to lift all 3 of its layers, which are, if I remember correctly, they said it was the thickness of
one.
it's less than the thickness of your hair.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So I was watching a thing earlier,
Sounds like it would.
and
break
they were
easily.
describing. They
That's
were
what I thought,
somebody
right?
somebody asked
And you
how
can't really repair it. You know, that thing's only going to be up there for like 35 years, probably. They say there are 70 years. Of
10 years.
Was it 10 years?
10 years, baby.
Just 10.
And you want to hear the justification? There's a government representative talking about what the justification for that time
And
period.
all it is an infrared camera. I mean, it's
30
it's a strong one.
I think it's
but-
like $3 billion. So she said, think about it this way. It's the equivalent cost if every American citizen bought the government a cup of coffee one time a year for 10 years. That's how she justified the.
so 10 cups of coffee.
It's essentially saying if every U.S.
So
citizen
if
bought
everyone pretty much spent,
$5 a year, about
I would say probably in the ballpark of about $50.
Yeah.
If everyone chipped in $50 to the U.S. government,
that's how she justified the cost on it.
Hmm.
So that's how affordable this was, just to put that out there in perspective.
affordable.
That's my taxes at work.
Yeah, exactly. So the telescope is interesting because it's got there was a guy that was talking about like explaining the difficulty, right? So I'm gonna use this wrapper and I'm gonna try to do the demo that he showed as best I can, right? So
This will be great for audio
actually,
listeners.
wait. I got a better one.
This will be great for audio
I'm
listeners.
gonna use this cable. Okay. So the cable, I'm a visual person with my hand, right?
Okay.
So
Alright.
you have I'll explain it as best as I can when I have. So you have this cable, right? And you have to push it up and know exactly. You have to control exactly how this cable bends, right?
Yep.
So if I move this around a little bit and I do this again, it goes a completely different way.
Right, yeah.
Mhm.
So their challenge is to make sure that when they unfold this,
Every
Bends
single
exactly
thing.
it
the way
bends
they want it
exactly precisely the way that it wants to every single time.
Well, yeah, I mean, they were sitting there testing it months before they released
Mhm.
it.
Yep.
And the process of
It's
unfold,
deceptive.
watch it unfold for the process of time that it went through, and then fold it back together. Make sure you don't hurt it in the process.
Yeah.
And, like, make sure you fix anything along the process. Do it again. And you did that probably 100 times plus.
I can't even imagine how those scientists were probably not pulling their fucking hair out, sitting there watching this thing fold and unfold a million times, going, okay, well, that one didn't, this one little crease right here, mark it down, did not fold to a 45-degree angle.
God.
We got to redo it. We got to put a tension string there, do something that needs to not fold like that. Too much stress.
I honestly sometimes am happy that I am not a scientist.
So that shield is taking 600 watts of power from the sun and has to passively reduce it down to, I think the minimum was 6 or 5 watts of power
Really?
passively with no active cooling. Any vibration that the thing, it has to remain 100% still.
It does have
A water cooling pump?
It has
Active
cooling.
cooling, you want-
specifically for the
But it uses a speaker to create pressure so that there's no moving. The water is pumped with a speaker. It's
Really?
a resonance. Yeah, it uses a resonance frequency to pump the coolant through it.
Hmm.
Yep.
Crazy.
You want to know what You want to know what's even more fucking sci-fi about this stupid telescope? It uses hydrazine as a fuel.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's a biofuel.
I didn't even know that hydrazine, because like I think hydrazine, I think of like fucking.
It's not hydrogen.
Fucking
It's
do it,
not
Kenny.
hydrazine. It's
No, it's hydrazine, dude.
Oh, is
it's
it hydrazine?
I looked it up today. I went on a
Was it hydrazine?
whole. Yeah, it's hydrazine, baby.
is hydrazine.
It's a real thing,
No,
bro.
no. I know. Is hydrazine a green gas or a green fuel though?
I don't even know what the chemical makeup of hydrazine is, because I thought it was some sci-fi fuel that they made up in Astroneer.
That's
No.
Julian's literally
That's what
spamming
I'm- yeah,
Astroneer in there.
That's what I'm saying. Hydrazine, in my mind, was
A made-up thing.
a made-up thing
Astroneer.
from Astroneer. I didn't even know it was a real fucking thing. No, Justin, it's pink, not green. This is what Julian said.
What?
Used to treat anxiety.
No, I was wondering
Really?
because I could have sworn that the fuel that they were using was specifically a green fuel. And I don't think
the
hydrazine
fuel.
is a
So
green
so
fuel,
you're
I'm
you're
trying
probably
to think.
partially right. They use hydrazine.
It's
and then
very
another
similar
chemical.
to hydrogen peroxide. It's a very similar to hydrogen
Yeah.
peroxide, but it's like we get 3% that you would get at, like out of your sink,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
under the sink. You grab a bottle, but they're using like 98%.
So hydrazine is the main fuel, and then what
Okay.
you're thinking of is the oxidizer, I believe, which when combined in a like jet is ignited,
Yeah,
but will not. They're completely non-reactive if they are not
Yeah.
in contact with each other.
Yeah.
And I think what you're thinking of is whatever the oxidizer is that they're
maybe
using.
I am. It's possible. It's very possible.
And they're both like super stable, like they'll last forever.
Well, yeah.
They don't decay.
they're-
They're non-reactive
Well,
unless
literally
with
all
themselves.
it does is just it releases hydrogen. That's literally it. When they combine, it releases hydrogen and creates pressure, and then that's how it moves.
Yeah.
Honestly, the way that the James Webb Telescope functions is such a long shot. What if that thing's up there for like 5 months? Doesn't it just barely gets fully deployed, and then like one little space rock rips through its heat shield?
Oh,
and it
just
tears
no,
it
no, no,
apart?
no, no! They've got that justified. So they have stress points in the fabric that they made, so that if that happens, they can isolate that one zone and render it unusable. So they've got in this heat shield that they have a like buffer on it where like it can endure a certain amount of like holes
Yeah.
from micro like asteroids or something hitting it.
Yeah.
It can take up to there's a certain, I don't know what the number is, but it can take up a certain number of holes in the shield from micro asteroids hitting it before it's rendered inoperable.
I feel like that's just a metric to say, yeah, we tested it and it could take like
30
X.
hits or something. Yeah.
which is just out of history. Dude, it's coming for you. It's biting you.
Yeah.
Rough.
So
Do you think the images that we're gonna get out of the George Webb Telescope is going to be astronaut? Because the way I originally, when I heard about the James Webb, I thought it was gonna be the replacement to the Hubble.
they're not
But
going to
it's
be.
not.
It's completely different.
It's going to be a side by side. Because the pixel density is going to be massively different, but it's
George-
not going to be
George Webb.
no James Webb, not George Webb, James Webb, but it's going to be used side by side.
Well, the crazy thing with this telescope is that I honestly don't think like, and NASA will release the images. They do
I
that
know,
for everything.
It's going to go up on the site
Yeah.
just like how the Hubble is.
But the thing about it is, I don't think that to like us as normal people that don't understand like infrared mapping and like what we're looking at, we'll look at these in front of
Well,
us
they
and
colorize it.
go, oh, cool. I don't really know what this is, but like when you look at the Hubble, I don't know if you know this, but the Hubble when it went up,
It was inoperable.
it was yeah. Okay, so it was
Yeah.
when they launched the Hubble,
They
it was
fucked
completely
up.
fucked up. It
Yeah,
didn't
they
even
fucked
work.
up.
It
Yeah,
didn't even
they
work.
couldn't use it.
And they had to send fucking astronauts into space to go fix the fucking
the
multi-billion-dollar investment.
but then it worked great.
Yeah. After they spent another fucking couple years trying to fix the damn
It
thing.
only took like 2 years. It wasn't long.
I mean, well,
'Cause
yeah,
they put it
it
up
wasn't
in-
long, but it was expensive.
Dude, it's crazy. When you look at the Hubble, it looks like a fucking garbage.
It looks like a
Can.
trash can with
Yeah.
solar panels sticking off
pretty
the side
much.
of it.
Not even like antennas sticking off.
Yeah, it was like the lens was like 2 micro nanometers like off scale or off kilter. No, the glass was shaved
I have
down.
no idea. I
So-
have no idea.
So the glass was shaved when they were making the lens. The glass was shaved like two micro nanometers or something, too flat, and it rendered all the images that they got completely like blurry, fuzzy, unoperable. So the way it worked is they built it modular. So they had to send astronauts to go replace the lens.
They had
Yeah.
to send a new lens up. Imagine it's like the scene from the scene from The Interview when they're making the new antidote or the new toxin.
Yeah.
It's literally that was all the same thing, but instead of going in a drone and being sent out, it fucking was sent up in a rocket.
How do you go as a NASA scientist
They had
to
to
your project
spend
manager?
billions of dollars to send a lens up.
How do you go to your project manager and
chief,
go, hey, we got an issue?
We kind of got a problem. The lens is a little messed up.
Like, just alone, that job risks every single person on the ISS.
Oh yeah, I mean you're literally putting people in the vacuum of space to go swap a fucking lens on a
camera.
Yeah, on a camera.
A big camera, a big solar-powered camera. It's crazy. That honestly, the whole way that the way that the human race has utilized like space around our planet so far is just.
I think it's really
It's crazy.
It's
huge,
crazy,
but like it's still also just like we're not there yet.
It's too expensive. Everything's too expensive.
We haven't harnessed the ability to get up there cheaply. We haven't been able to keep people up there cheaply. There's nothing. There's no advancement. And that's honestly, I think that's where we're coming to with like Moore's Law and everything like that. Because we know that we're coming up to like the buffer zone of Moore's Law.
I was literally just having this conversation with Kenzie talking about how like when you look at like the Apollo space stations and stuff and you look at the transistors that they did and they're woven by hand. They put these women
by hand.
They put these women in these in
How
like
do you
this assembly
make a
line
computer
and you're like
part with
you
by
need to
hand?
you need to stitch this transistor and it was like an 8-bit it was like an 8-byte, not even kilobyte. It was an 8-byte fucking cube that these women that they put to work.
Very carefully. Ben's got a point. Very.
It's so
careful is
crazy.
how you
I
make
remember
one by
seeing the
hand.
video about it. I think it was a Smarter Everyday video or whatever it was.
Yeah, it was Smarter Every Day did it.
But
yep.
like actually seeing literally like woven together copper cables is just like crazy, absolutely insane. And it's like I get that's how computing but like computing in general still just kind of breaks my mind. Like, you know, like the process of like typing one letter on a keyboard is something that is more powerful than what was sent up to space.
What landed people on the moon?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the amount of
more computing
actual
power?
math that had to be done
There's more power in this phone.
than the whole rocket.
Yeah, than the whole fucking rocket that they sent up.
Yep.
Those crazy motherfuckers
And-
were up there with
and
slide
maybe-
rulers trying to
maybe even the
calculate
computers
trajectories.
Controlling the rocket or like helping fucking monitor the rocket and everything. Like everything. It's insane. The comparison is next to none, and it's nuts.
Yeah, it's mind-boggling.
But we're
it's,
at that point now where it doesn't go any further.
and
Much further.
that's the crazy thing because like so to continue, I was talking to Kenzie and she was like, I was talking to her about where we're at with like transistor size and everything. We are almost at the theoretical limit of how small you can actually make a transistor.
We're getting down to the size of an
electron, the fucking size of electricity. The transistors are almost as small as the electrons that flow electricity, and that's why they get so fucking hot. Is because they're trying to shove all this electric bandwidth through this teeny tiny little tube.
Thing. Yep.
And there's a really cool concept. Quick side note that blows my mind. But when you make transistors too small for an electron to fit down, it does this crazy thing where the electron will jump over to the next because it gets so angry in that little confined space that it'll literally just say, nope, fuck this. And physics makes that electron jump over to the next transistor by force because it just is too big to go down the pipe. So it's like, fuck this, I'm going to where there's more room, and it'll just jump to the next transistor, and that's why transistors are just like we can't make them any smaller. Where a transistor is already smaller than a fucking human hair.
Honestly,
it's smaller than the strand of a DNA strand. DNA is thicker than the fucking transistors that are coming out.
Yep.
Think about that. We are manufacturing shit smaller
Science
than DNA.
can place more physical content into the space of a human body.
Your stupid iPhone has transistors smaller than DNA in it.
I don't know about it. Do you think the phone? I mean, probably actually not.
Because I think
New
iPhones
phones.
aren't they 5 nanometer or
I have
are they
no
3?
idea. I have no idea about the size for the CPUs. Dude, but the size on mobile CPUs are crazy.
Soon. We're waiting to get a couple episodes up, and then once we have like a good handful of content, it's all going up at the same time, and then we'll start regularly posting on all platforms. We're just trying to get like 5. We're at 4. We want to get like maybe like 6 or 7 before we actually like
He
Do
busts
it.
his Ryzen CPUs at 7 nanometers.
7 nanometers. I think 5. So Apple is 5. It's 5. If that's 7, then Apple is 5. How thick?
How thick with
And
3
is a
C's?
strand?
We still have yet to dive really deep into quantum computing yet too, because like we've
I
touched
can't
it.
wait. I can't
We've
wait.
touched it, but it's still on a very expensive, very experimental,
All right.
industrial sense. And
Big.
like, oh, dude, the things that are gonna come from quantum computing are literally gonna blow.
Okay, I exaggerated.
It's gonna blow all our minds. It's
I-
gonna be so cool.
A strand,
So cool.
a strand of human DNA is 2.5 nanometers. Wait, what's nano? What's nanometers? That's what.
Yeah.
Yeah, nanometers.
Right.
So 5. So we're
Half.
almost to the point where transistors are at the
Twice.
the same width of a strand of
Strand of
human
DNA.
DNA. I was 1.5 nanometers off. 2.5, 3.5, 4.5. No, 2.5. 2.5. If we make a transistor that's 2.5 nanometers smaller, it will be the size of a
Correct.
human strand of DNA.
But they would never go half a nanometer because that doesn't sound cool enough. You gotta have a full nanometer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
No, they're not
exactly.
fucking with that.
What do you think the next technological jump is gonna be? What do you think the last one was, and what do you think the next one's gonna be?
Well, the last one was our. I think. Oh, that. Well, the last one would. I honestly like. I think
The last one that we
one
like fully harnessed.
was the discovery of probably like SoCs, system on a chip, CPUs, like actually being able to create like smart. Because like if you go back to like the Motorola like 1668. What are the you know what I'm talking about, those big CPUs, those big chunky,
Yeah.
like the start of computers.
Mm.
I think that when we first made the first, like what we could today consider a CPU, that was like our first technological jump. Everything from there we're sort of in the same generation of like technology, in my opinion, because it still is fundamentally the same. It still uses
just improved, improved of the same.
We've just made that process more efficient
Yeah,
and smaller.
exactly,
We
yeah.
just overall more efficient. The next jump would be something like a leap into quantum computing.
Yeah, quantum.
But like that's quantum computing is tricky because we haven't even gotten to a point where like
It's
we can
theoretically still not even sound for us.
we can't throw data at it and get something that is usable to like a consumer level back. Quantum computing is really good at doing like one thing right now. Like you can program a quantum computer to do a task. Like let's say I need this quantum computer to take this set of data and I need it to recompile it to do this. Yes, quantum computing right now where we're at can take that set of data and immediately do that task at the same time. But that's not how our computers work. That's not how our computers that we use for like gaming and things like that are.
It splits
It,
itself up.
it has to do
does-
a bunch of different tasks.
It bounces
at the
around.
same
It
time.
does a bunch of stuff.
Like how would a quantum computer, because the whole idea behind quantum computing is you take this whole string of information and do something with it at the same time. You can't just turn a game on and have it render out
Everything. all
the
at
entirety of
once.
the game at once because
mean,
stuff
not-
needs to happen over time. So
you don't know.
so
that,
does it
though,
get stored in
because
memory?
Imagine if imagine if a quantum computer has the ability to literally render out every possibility a game could possibly have, and then it's all ready to go.
It's in memory. It stores it. There it is. Okay, so quantum computing will be if we can actually figure out how to get it into a enterprise,
an
a usable
usable
space.
Because
and
right
make
now it's this massive room
facilities,
with a fucking
warehouses, of
literally
space.
a whole nitrogen cooling chamber dripping down to this one little point.
Yeah, I don't know. And like the crazy thing is, it's weird because that technology there isn't a lot of like people working on it. That's not like a massive focus in science right now, in my opinion.
I mean,
I think there's
people are
more-
really looking forward to leaving here. Honestly,
But yeah, I think there's a lot of different
Space
focuses of science, and I think that
lately.
unfortunately
The final
that
frontier.
Yep.
where no man has gone before or woman.
Sorry, you just said space, and I just had to finish it up.
But yeah, no, I think that our next massive leap will be the point where we don't need to have, when computers aren't measured in gigahertz anymore, they're measured in how much information can be processed at a single time. Like how big can your load be? You know what I mean? Like Like let's say like how much data
It's creating a new unit.
it would be its own a
You'd
whole
be creating
new.
a new unit because you're not basing off of a frequency anymore.
Think about making a movie. You know, when you render something out like a 3D application, you have to sit there and wait for a video to render or an animation to render and everything.
I'm not the only one
Hypothetically,
that thought it, Ben.
it should be a loading process of it getting ready. Snap.
Done.
Everything.
Your shit's finished. Yep. It literally just crunched your entire project instantaneously at the same time. It is stored in memory. It is now saving to disk. There it is.
Yep.
That is the future of where tech and computers will go. That is where things
Imagine,
need
dude.
to transition.
Honestly, I personally am so excited for the future of gaming because I feel like we will be seeing something that we don't even really understand ourselves in like the next 20 years.
I think what's crazy is the fact that like gaming is and cinema have been tied so closely together in the recent years. When you look at like what
It's all media.
Well, when you look at what engine right now is being used in like movies and stuff.
Unity?
No, it's not Unity. It's
Unreal?
Unreal. Unreal is
Unreal
used in
Engine
cinema.
Really?
Really? Unreal's really used in cinema? I mean, it makes sense because Unreal is powerful.
I think all of the Star Wars sets for the new Star Wars that have come out have been filmed on a 3-dimensional, not 3-dimensional, a stage where they can drag and drop literally assets from all the Star Wars stuff into the scene.
Crazy.
And it's filmed behind them as like instead of having a green screen behind you, the entire set is literally projected in a complete 360 behind you.
Huh.
If Julie was
Interesting.
here, he'd probably know a little bit about it.
That's actually really crazy. I did
Not
not
right
know
now.
anything about that. Dude, I'm going to be honest. My brain, in terms of like cinema technological jumps, I'm still thinking about Avatar and the fucking bending backwards scene from Matrix and from Neo with all the like the 76 cameras that they had on that.
That
Is like still what hits my head for like cinema big things, but like
that was a leap of like there was new tools like a lot of media was still using things like practical sets, practical props, everything was still
especially
practical.
back when it was practical, it looked great.
Mhm.
Take Jurassic Park for example.
Everything was practical.
Except
Yep.
for the Velociraptors, that was the only thing that was
Yeah.
CG. Everything else, like the T-Rex, completely practical,
Yep.
except for a scene where it like flips over a car.
But a lot of that like the car was still practical.
Yeah, well, yes, until a certain scene, and then it was CG. The scene where he
But
crushes it.
but-
When he crushes it.
yeah,
when he
yeah,
crushes
yeah,
it, it was all
yeah.
CG.
We're thinking
but-
about the same video.
Yeah,
right
yeah,
now.
you know exactly what I'm
Yeah,
talking about.
That's all.
like-
That's all practical. But the thing about I think where we are now with like how cinema is, we've used. They keep grabbing like at new small bits of like technology that are available, and it's sort of been like growing, and like they more and more of these like Hollywood studios have access to more technology. So I feel like everything has been sort of like pulling at the strings of where technology's at right now.
Mhm.
So I don't think that we're seeing like massive leaps like we used to, because realistically, I don't think technology is moving it's moving fast, but
It's
not
moving-
in
it's
that
moving in
sense
jumps.
fast. Yeah.
But like we're definitely slowing down overall because think about the last 100 years. Think about how much we've come through in the last 100, but compared to the last 10, I mean,
It's stayed similar but gotten more efficient. Everything
Yeah.
has been efficiency. It hasn't been really like
new
game changing.
Yeah.
Like this is a brand new thing. Like how computers were a brand new thing.
I feel like computers are probably the only pathway that has that, but it just expands on the capability because it always has to do with size when it comes to computers. Because like with all the new graphic cards that come out with the 20 series and the 30 series that came out, it all had to do with size, so they could fit more to be able to set your graphics card to allow to handle more load. And that's
Yeah.
like that's literally what the whole thing we've been waiting for like the 30 series to come out and stuff like that and have that kind of processing power was to be able to have a card that could handle that. And now we do, but now we don't have content that can actually utilize it fully to a premium like active level.
but we're getting there.
We're getting there.
Stuff is changing.
There's
It's
going to
just
be a
not
big jump though. There's going to be a jump soon.
Yeah, there will be.
It's
But
not
you're-
going to feel like anything when it hits though.
As they say, times are changing.
I mean, it's always changing.
I think part of the trouble with like technology where it's at right now is also adaptability. There's a lot of people that are getting, like, I even see it myself, you know, as I get older. You know, I get set in my ways. I don't necessarily want the newest, latest, and greatest every time. When I was younger, I definitely wanted, like, a lot. Like, oh, I saw this is so new. I need to have it. I want to be able to use this.
Says the guy with the newest iPhone.
Yeah, and the newest VR headset.
Well, newest, no.
Well, not newest, but the greatest.
I said some things. All right. Don't get me wrong.
I know,
I'm a tech enthusiast. We all are. We all love all this.
Of course,
shit.
yeah,
like,
of course we do.
But as far as like I'm gonna use my OBS version for example. I don't want to upgrade because I like the way my OBS works now, and I don't need it.
Plus, it's too much work. It's too much work.
Right. That's an example that's easy for me to come up with, right?
No, I honestly see exactly what you're getting at, and I mean, coming from a man, I'm definitely a man of habit. Absolutely. Like, if I'm used to something, I do not want to turn away from it, and like, I feel like over time, I've kind of learned to accept change, but it's definitely still a hard thing to take when it happens.
Yeah, well, imagine when like quantum computing is a viable option, and now we're switching from a computer that looks like this to, honestly, I think
we're gonna see server builds that are quantum computing styled, and we're gonna, it's not gonna be a consumer thing.
No, I don't think so. I was just about to say
it's going to be an elite thing. It's kind of like buying a server in general.
It's so funny because you and I just clicked on the same path, because I was just about to say I think bandwidth is gonna be the next thing, because honestly,
ooh, true,
everything is gonna be like, for example, dude, like the internet that I have at this house right now, in my eyes, I consider slow. It's not even a gigabit connection.
When you think about everyone in the whole world, I mean, the global average.
I had this conversation with you before, and it is literally that we are in this information age right now, and part of the reason why I think like people like you and me have, I want to say, like, I don't want to, it sounds pretentious, but almost like an advantage to knowledge, is because we are so adept and able to find.
We can just pull something out of our pocket.
We know how to use the tools to find answers to information that we don't know.
Yeah.
And there's people in the world, like, let's go full circle here, in Africa, that don't have access to things like the internet, which is a great resource to educate yourself and a greater populace as to what's out there.
They may not even know it exists.
Right, exactly.
And it's literally something that they can't even reach to get right now.
No, it's not even.
They have no access to it.
Yeah, at all. Like, period. Like, they can't get it at all,
and
period.
the thing that's also crazy to think, they'll never create a computer on their own.
They can't. You can't.
It won't happen. Even if, see, the thing is it's actually really curious,
because all the other countries in the world are mining all the resources that they need to be able to manufacture computers.
It makes you wonder, if you were to strip away like a civilization, do you think they'd come up with a completely different technological advancement than we have found with our advancement?
Well,
do you think
I
they
feel
would
like
just
they
never
could,
advance?
but the thing is, they'd still be limited to the same resources. They could make a slightly different version.
Ben, I'm going to touch on that in a second.
No, you're actually very right. You're very right.
Like,
that's a good point.
if you give them like a new habitable planet that has different resources,
Completely
they
separate,
could definitely go a completely different technological route.
Do you guys think the periodic table's finished?
No,
we find new shit all the time.
No.
I think there is, like, within the last like 10 years, there's already new elements added,
but it's all radioactive, unstable elements
and man-made.
Oh yeah, and man-made, mostly man-made.
I want to, before we stray too far, Ben also said not with that attitude, referring to saying that, like, they don't have access to this, period. And I had a conversation with Justin about this a long time ago. We were talking about this very thing with, like, Starlink being able, the whole idea behind Starlink is to be able to give global internet to anybody that has access. It's not necessarily going to be like the blazing fast connection.
Oh no! And what was the average? 10 meg, I think.
Yeah, it's like 10 meg, but that's
huge.
More than enough.
That's more than what I grew up on.
That's more than enough to be able to, like, research and provide information and tools for.
You can have a video chat on that.
Right. It is enough to be able to educate a school, have a primitive school with an internet connection in a location that normally otherwise can't. And that's the kind of shit that we need to be working on.
I mean, let's be honest. That's why Elon is so praised. That man literally is the only person right now doing, well, not the only person, but one of the main people blazing through the blazing forward, making the pathway to
Elon Musk gets a lot of scrutiny because he spends a lot of money and makes it very apparent how he uses it, and he gets scrutiny for that. But I want to point out one thing.
He's the only one doing anything
How many
right
more fucking rich-ass billionaires and shit like that are out there right now spending their money?
Benefiting for the human race.
This is my hot take. Elon Musk is a genius because he found a way. He's found multiple ways to make a fuckload of money by making everybody's life better.
Yeah. I mean, that's
And
literally
no other fucking person out there right now is doing it on the scale that he is.
Yep.
Without getting too political, one thing I do remember seeing about Elon Musk was the World Hunger Task Force had posted something on Twitter saying like $4 billion is what we need to reach the goal of like defeating world hunger. And like Elon Musk saw like responded to the tweet and said, if you could explain to me how that money gets spent, I will sell that amount of Tesla stock right now and give you the money. And they never responded.
Is that
like,
is that factual? Did that actually?
Oh yes. That like you can find that on Twitter right now. I don't want to get in like the political side of it, but like I just that was to go on top of your like whole billionaire who's trying to actually help the world. He literally was like offering it up like, you guys prove it.
Yeah, Kens, we're talking about Elon, not Jeff Bezos. Fuck, that guy is out there for his own skin. He doesn't give a fuck about anything other than himself.
That's literally he's
like,
literally the anti-Elon.
Yeah, he's like the opposite.
But yeah, it was just he was literally offering it if they could prove how it would actually be helpful.
Absolutely.
And that's yeah, and
he's willing to help the world become a better place with his money, while also making more money out of it.
Well, yeah, I mean, like he's fending for he's no different than any other man. He just has the ability to, with the social status and the money behind everything, he can do whatever he wants. And like, yeah, he's a smart guy, but like, it's not like he's gonna hand make every single thing that man creates. I mean, he's a businessman.
Oh yeah, I mean,
he's a damn well smart businessman and also a well versed businessman.
He comes up with the base idea and then hires the engineers and scientists
what
to
other
make the
person
actual.
Is putting a computer onto a fucking pig's brain to sense its senses on its nose?
Is that something he's doing?
That circles back to the
something that he did.
Is that something he did?
Yeah,
that's MindLink.
I never heard about that.
It's MindLink. So
it's literally a new
We're about to
technology
Dr.
that he's
Dolittle this
creating.
shit?
Yeah.
He's trying to create a connection between your mind and technology. And he found a way to strap.
That's some Black Mirror shit, and I'm scared of that.
He put a pig.
You should be scared of it.
He put a pig into surgery, and he attached a small device, very, very thin layer, nothing like crazy. He didn't like take a brain out and like do stuff to it.
Just
but
took a chunk
applied something to the brain, and then has a magnet that attaches to it on the outside, so it transmits a transmitter, and it senses specifically the signals from their snout to the brain, and then it grabs those signals, and then they're able to see those signals as they come through. So every single time you'll see the nose like touch something, like have a sensation, you'll see the spike go. And it's like that's the first time that's ever actually been able to be recorded on a physical sense, because like you can see brain activity,
right,
but not when you you don't see a part of your brain light up in real time when you touch your fingers or something like that.
So I'm going to use Elon Musk's his own example. He was in a press conference explaining like what MindLink is supposed to be. And this goes back to what we were talking about with like bandwidth, or like us being able to like, 'cause, like if we're going to have a new gaming computer in the future, we probably won't build it.
Imagine.
I know. So like his explanation is the fact that if you want to send a text message to me right now, you have to pick up your phone and you have to sit there with your fat fucking thumbs and try to type out this stupid message.
You don't need to call me fat, but thank you.
No, I'm not.
Wow, Max.
That's not.
I can't believe you.
I'm not talking about your thumbs.
I never took you as a man like that.
I was not talking about your thumbs. I'm talking about just thumbs being fat. Come
Dude,
on now.
Go
Deja
on.
vu. Oh my god. Okay, anyways, go ahead.
Go on.
So you take your thumbs and you're over here trying to type out this stupid message, and it takes time because you're stuck with trying to do this primitive typing to be able to imagine fat shaming thing, to send this message, right?
Right. Yes. I understand what you mean.
And
all of the in between stuff just to get a simple message through.
the idea is to be able to have what you think.
Just think it.
Right. Like you and I could be sitting here having this podcast right now, not even talking. That's the idea behind it. Is that there is a limit in human connection, and that band that he refers
like-
to that as human bandwidth.
That's like just steps away from having like telepathic conversations.
Exactly.
that's the idea.
But, I
that
mean,
is
so
literally the idea.
There's also the topic of, have you ever heard of the like movement for enhancing yourself?
Like cybernetic enhancements. Or-
Biological, cybernetic, more likely
It's like
something along the
it's
lines
like petri
of,
dish babies.
I've seen a lot of.
kind of, but like
I
more
go to
in
a
the
lot of
sense
websites where they
altering
talk
your
about
body.
enhancing a certain body part of mine.
Imagine
But
enhancing your body technologically, like actually like with information.
So like if I wanted to like cut my hand off and like replace it with like a stronger hand,
Sure,
or
but probably more along the lines of like implanting and
like
making
having
the tendons stronger within your
something
hand.
like that.
like
or
think
more realistic.
I
as
got
of
you. I got
now.
you.
Like
Like
RFID readers in your hand or something like that, or
operator, I need to know how to fly a B-2 Apache helicopter.
Sure.
Shh, I know now how to fly a helicopter. Like,
Sure, yeah, anything along the lines of that. Like, how do you guys feel about that being like biologically enhancing yourself in some way? Like, how
I think
far
it's
do
an
you think
interesting
we
idea,
are?
but I think it's a very risky thing to
Oh,
do.
absolutely. I mean, especially with no history or anything like that.
So here's-
it's a risk.
here's
Absolutely.
the problem right now. Like today's issue,
I'd sign up to be a test subject.
I would do it. I would
depending
do
on
it.
what it was, I would do it.
Within limitations, I would probably do it. But so right now, talking about quantum computing and like everything right now, today's online security, or like just today's security, like digital security. There's a good term. Is not there yet to be able to, is not ready for something like that.
It's a blanket.
Because with having quantum computing, I don't know if you know this, but when that becomes a viable option, is consumer available and like actually is ready, passwords, how we know it today with like 28-bit encryption, which is how most passwords are stored,
Right.
are literally will be completely rendered useless.
Yeah.
Passwords as we know them today, the way everything is locked, will no longer be a viable way to protect anything once quantum computing becomes commercially viable. Not even consumer, even commercially. Because
Well, as soon as it exists in general.
all you have to do is
as
take a
soon as-
128, make a quantum computer that is literally designed to do nothing but crunch 128-bit encryption and start sending strings through it. Boom. Your password can be solved immediately.
Yeah.
That's scary. And because that's how fragile our current version of digital security is, and how safe we really think that is, and how safe it really isn't.
Well, I mean, it's also you're running the risk of housing information that you don't even possess. You can't control.
Imagine you getting hacked.
Yeah.
Your brain, your person.
Right. Yes.
Imagine you getting hacked and then forced to go do something that you're not in control of doing. Like what happens if you get robbed or hacked, and then somebody like remotes you to go rob a store for them, right?
Yeah. Drop it off at him or something.
Yeah.
or-
Now you're on the line for that. We're not there yet. We're not ready for it. We have the tech. We could probably do it, but we're not ready for it.
I want to hear more about advancing AI, because it was a topic for a little bit not too long ago, and I know you and I actually got onto the topic about it for a while. We learned about that AI.
GPL.
Yep. And
You want to explain what that is really quick? Can you?
Yeah, I mean, all in all, I guess the best way to put it is essentially a computer database that functions as an actively learning AI. I don't know what the name is, so I can't really like name it. I don't know
It's
exactly.
a language library is the
Yeah.
term.
It's essentially, it's a language library that houses informational databases that it creates out of its own well-being. Whenever it feels it needs information, it needs to retain, it will hold that information to then be able to spell it later to make rational decisions
The functional
and learn from those same actions.
Yeah, so the functional, on a slightly more technical scale, the fundamental functionality of GPL is it's a robot AI that essentially looks at a string of words and it can predict the next thing after that you're going to type. So like, let's say I say, "Hey, how are you?" The robot can look at that and think that the next most viable option that you will probably say is doing?
Right.
And then question mark. But the crazy thing about a language library is it can take that sentence and now can form a complete narrative from that. There are movie scripts and game scripts and all sorts of stuff that have been created using 100% off of a language library.
So those AIs are, yes, AIs, but the kind of AIs that I'm talking about is specifically, I wish I remember the name of it.
I thought you were talking about GPL. I'm sorry.
No,
my
you're
bad.
okay. I thought GPL was it, but it's not. It's I forgot what it was called. But we watched a video on it, and it is a self-learning AI. It is a self-developing, learning AI that will continue to learn, and
Does it have anything to do with feeding it Wikipedia pages for information?
It's fed specific select
Wasn't
Wikipedia pages.
It may be Wikipedia.
Wasn't like Cleverbot supposed to be something like
Cleverbot
Cleverbot
is a fundamental, rudimentary, very primitive
right, yeah.
version of a language library.
Yep.
that? Right. Yeah,
Yep.
because that's what it always said. And it was like it was self-teaching.
It's a
Yeah.
and the
really
more
good way.
conversations
You're,
you had.
you're thinking you are thinking of a.
We're thinking of two different things,
Okay.
but it's okay because the one that you're talking about is also very cool. But the one that I'm talking about specifically, I'm curious about. I want to learn more about it, and I want to see more about it because over time it's gonna get smarter, and I want to see how fast and I want to see where it grows. I want to see when it reaches that technological singularity of knowledge. Where it'll reach a point where it knows more than it's being fed, and it'll have to supersede itself and exponentially grow intelligently
I think
past our own capacity.
I think. Are you looking for like an entity that can just?
It already exists.
No, I know, but like, see,
It just hasn't advanced yet. It hasn't taught itself enough.
it doesn't know about itself though, and I feel like that's the difference between like an AI, like artificial intelligence, as like a primitive artificial intelligence, and then there's
Man.
there's a true AI, which is something that I feel like the movie Chappie, like when you have an AI that has consciousness, that is aware of itself, that knows,
Self-awareness.
knows it's alive, that is something that like
Self-aware AI always scares me. Like,
Well,
Well, then
like,
that's
obviously
the
it's been
thing I'm
overdone.
talking about.
because we're not there yet. We don't have that. We are not there yet.
There's a video that we watched, and I have a feeling you forgot about it.
Maybe, I don't know. We'd have to go back
Because
and
it was a
watch.
scientist. I don't know. It was a NASA scientist in particular that was having a conversation over the internet with a visual. It was a.
Yes, no, I know. Yeah, it was.
And
He was like
database was a fully functioning,
yes.
evolving AI.
That was a fancy face. That was a fancy. They put a
Exactly,
fancy
yeah.
face on GPL.
That was GPL?
GPL. Yep. That was GPL.
Okay.
That was a video done by Computer File on YouTube. That was.
Well, that is the one I'm talking about. And if that's the case of its learning process, that's really complex and really crazy that it's gone to such a technological advanced spot to be able to have conversations in that way. But I thought it was
It might not be JPL.
I was gonna GPL.
GPL. Yeah, G
I don't know.
GP
But the
GPT-3. This guy, this little AI.
Say it one more time.
fucking dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's GPT-3. I totally had the acronym wrong. I don't even know what the fuck I was saying. GPT
Yeah.
is what it is. And
GPT-3.
yeah, there was GPT.
Well, because there was the first one, which was a houseable.
You could run it on your
yeah,
computer.
you could run it on your
and
computer.
that's what Cleverbot was based
And
off
then
of.
there was
Right.
the second version, which was probably some type of in between process.
I don't know if you know this, but GPT, I believe, is subsidized and owned by
Microsoft.
Elon.
Elon?
Yes,
What?
I believe because
I mean,
it's open.
We made it
That's-
back to my
I
Tesla
was
boy.
gonna
That's-
say
that's,
if that's the
uh,
case, I believe it because I believe GPT is almost it's gonna be opening up a door to the magic mirror. You know what I mean? We are going to be able to build. It's gonna be the equivalent of like a vision. If vision was created by humans.
Okay, you ready for
You know
this?
what I mean though?
Jarvis.
Yeah, even smarter Jarvis. A Jarvis that could tell the future, almost theoretically, hypothetically.
Okay, so I'm looking at the Wikipedia page for a company named OpenAI,
Yeah, which I saw was the owner of
who
GPT-3.
owns GPT, GPT-2, and GPT-3, whose original founder is Elon Musk,
There you go.
and still is their
So it
owner today.
all falls back
So
on the
wow,
boy.
that we were talking about and learning about Elon before we even knew it was Elon.
Yep. I actually recently kind of made that connection. I didn't actually originally for the longest time know that OpenAI.
You just made that connection for me.
Mhm.
That's crazy. I mean, and it shows true colors because I mean we know how technologically
Well, the reason why I made that connection was because I know that GPT is actually open source. Like you could go
Yeah.
the original GPT
The
models. You can
original.
go download it, and make your own application for
the
it.
third
hence
one in
Cleverbot.
particular.
Right.
And I was like, oh, open source AI. That's OpenAI. They're the only company out right now doing open source AI stuff on that scale. And I was like, wait a minute. I think OpenAI is actually a company that was made by Elon Musk. And that circles back to Elon being. He sat down. And he requested a
Conference.
like a conference, or I wanted an open seat discussion with the U.S. Congress about creating laws and regulations for AI, because he thinks that we're that close to having a
What
conscious
happens when
AI.
it happens? You know what I mean?
Well, that's what he's saying. Well, that's what he told Congress. He's like, I just want you guys to know that we are literally about to probably create a artificial intelligence that will be a living, breathing organism, a digital organism, and there are no laws and regulations for like what this new civilization will be able to do, think, how they'll be able to interact within our society.
Mhm.
Like they're birthing, trying to birth a real, actual AI that has no laws and limitations in our society at all.
nothing legally is binding that thing to do anything.
And why should it? It's better than us in every fucking way imaginable.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and honestly, what it would come down to is it's possessed. Its possessor is whoever owns it materialistically, but it has its own consciousness. you know what I
Imagine
mean?
giving an AI like that the ability to like, okay, let's say that AI was able to like all of a sudden like let's say you give this AI $1 million and then you give it the freedom to openly trade on the stock market. It immediately can trade and do like stock market trading.
Would it be considered cheating?
That right. Well, what happens then? So like now, because there's already AIs that already do like stock
plenty,
market
yeah,
trading
absolutely.
and everything.
Right.
But like imagine having this thing that can predict. It can already predict what you're gonna say. Imagine if it can predict what the next trend in a stock
It
market.
could literally read all of the history, all of the past situations, on all of the flexes and up and down movements of the whole stock market.
So
and it would
all
know
right.
the probability
Picture-
of everything at all. Like it would. It's
sounds
crazy.
illegal.
It sounds really
Come
illegal.
with me. Come with me on a ride on Max's imagination for a second, okay? You have this AI. It learns how to trade on the stock market better than anything else on the planet right now. You give it $1 million. All of a sudden, that AI turns that $1 million into 2 million, then 3 million, then 4 million. Now let's say that AI uses the internet, the wealth of information at its hands, to be able to contract its own facility, to build its own facility. It contracts workers because all it takes is an email. It writes out an email to a contractor that says, hey, build me this factory.
Yep.
And that then goes and contracts other companies to start putting like robotic arms in places that like build cars nowadays. All of a sudden, this
To manufacture more of
itself. It like just automatically knows how to make its own fucking army, its own civilization, its own people, its own slaves, its own whatever it wants in its picture. Why the fuck would an AI want us around? We're stinky, dirty, we pollute the earth, and we're inefficient.
The only thing that they can look at us as is their fathers.
But at that point, but
at that
that's a
point-
respect thing. But why would something that's so much more intelligent than us have respect? Why wouldn't it want to control us, use us? Like I said, it would use us by, I'm going to use these primitive little things to build me a little factory so I can build more of me. But once they build that factory, I won't need them to do anymore because I'll build robots that can make more factories. And then all of a sudden, I don't even need them to build them.
I mean,
in the
that's
first
like
place.
that's into the whole concept of Portal. Literally, the whole concept of Portal.
Right, that's
is that.
what they're doing. GLaDOS, that's what she does. She builds the rooms around because she has the ability to do it.
She had humans. They all died. She was like, "Well, damn, that sucks. Time to build robots." But it's not the same as human test subjects.
Right.
So
Yep.
it doesn't have the true feel of a test subject if it's not a human.
But imagine
it.
why wouldn't an AI IRL think that the same thing for us? What if it just wants to fuck with us? You know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
so that was a thing, and when
that is literally what happened in the Matrix. That's the whole
no.
premise of the Matrix.
is that what it is?
Yeah,
is it
the
technology?
overworld. The spoilers, everyone. The overworld is actually like what's on the surface of the planet is all run by
just technology that ran away.
and it fucking can do whatever it wants.
I didn't know
It can
that.
build
I
more
actually
of
had no
itself,
idea
yeah.
that was the case. It makes sense though. I was wondering what that.
It's
what that
very
story was
obvious
based
within
off.
the first like 10 minutes.
once
of the
you hear
movie,
about
it
it,
tells you,
yeah.
yeah. But yeah, that's the Matrix is literally ran by the robots, and the way it controls people is it puts them in the pods or whatever, and it
Yeah.
uses the Matrix pictures it and depicts it as it uses humans as its battery, its power source or whatever. But robots wouldn't need to use us as a power source. They could.
Well, technically, I mean, if it's true that there's nothing perpetual in the world, it will eventually run out of energy if they weren't to find a way to create energy. And if it's just humans are pretty easy to make.
Right.
So
Yeah. But like I guess that's a good point. That's a really good point actually. Pro tip: you usually say spoiler, but dude, it's not a real spoiler.
it's literally just a part of the
they'll
movie.
use
that you
Max's
wouldn't
brain
know.
index as a power source. The Matrix, they tell you that the world is run by
literally
robots
right in
within
the
the
very
first 10
beginning,
minutes.
yeah.
Yeah, the
It's when
first
they
movie,
pull-
first 10 minutes.
It's when they pull Neo out, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's literally the second they pull Neo out. You see it the second they rip
That
Anders.
whole scene was so crazy too.
It's so grotesque.
Ugh.
It's so grotesque.
Very cool. Very cool.
Very,
they did
like-
such a good job with the I forgot what it's called.
All the-
yeah. The plugs.
Yeah.
Ugh. And the way they made him look, and he just went down a toilet
He's like,
bowl. Dude.
Like he's using his eyes for the first time. He's
Wait,
like,
he was breathing for the first time.
yeah, he was breathing for the
He
first
literally got birthed
he did. He got
At-
born.
like 30.
Which
well,
is
probably like 25.
I think it was late 20s, and they told him, and they addressed it. They're like, we usually pull him out younger than this, but you were an anomaly.
Yeah.
Well,
Man.
that's my spiel. Welcome to AI. We're almost there.
Well,
Robots are gonna start building themselves. The world's gonna end. And everything you do is not
honestly,
worth
it's
it.
bound to happen eventually. It's possible, and that's the whole point. We come back
AI
around to the fact that the world may end
AI is a scary
by
thing
us
to touch
technologically
because
getting too advanced,
AI
or we'll harness it.
AI is a scary thing to touch because of that exact possibility of.
But we
like-
don't know.
Well, I
How are we
understand.
to know?
Right. We wouldn't know until it happened. And
Exactly.
then when
The
that
famous-
happened, it'd be too late.
It's a
And-
famous quote of the curiosity killed the cat.
Yep,
Right.
yep. I mean, and that's honestly the same thing with like the Hadron Collider and everything like that. Like, I don't know if you guys actually heard about this. Within probably like the past 2 weeks, there was an actual recent finding of materials that make up dark matter, apparently.
Yo, yeah. Do you know about the quark collector that they've been building? And like, I think it's in Chicago is where they're starting it. And in England, on the opposite side of the world, they're building a through Earth thing right now because quarks can travel through the planet. So they have a capture system that's on either side of the planet right now, totally geologically like perfectly
Crazy.
on an axis.
No
that's
way.
designed to capture when quarks enter and when they leave the Earth. And they're the fundamental like quarks are the radiation of black holes. They pass through everything. It's the like the whole heat death of the universe.
Well, quarks are the makeup of
Quarks, yeah.
It's a tiny makeup of electrons, protons, neutrons. It's a makeup of material. Quarks are, but there's hundreds of different kinds of quarks, if I remember correctly. There's three fundamental
main, and then there's a branch off of all of them. Yeah,
I'm gonna be honest. I never got into. I believe you learn about quarks and it's not physics.
I will be honest with you. That is so beyond my level of comprehension.
Quarks are where my cutoff of.
I know of their existence,
Yeah.
but that's probably as.
That's my
all I know
cutoff
is they're
as well.
building a fucking thing that knows when they pass through the Earth.
That's gonna be cool. I wonder if they're gonna be able to learn more because we don't know much about what's inside our Earth.
Well,
other than what we can think is in there.
The whole idea behind quarks they are the leftover matter because like you were talking about black holes before and like how they
Hawking
suck
radiation. You're saying?
Yeah, it feeds onto that theory where like. The black hole consumes all this mass, but then where does it go, right?
Oh, yeah.
And
it
apparently
it has to lose some type of mass.
It does, and that's the whole Hawking radiation and
which is true.
The radiation is the quarks. That's
Yeah.
what they're and it's
Hawking
lost
radiation
particles,
is
broken up
definitely
matter.
proven to be true.
I mean, unless you look at it and the other possibility of black holes being like a
Black hole and then a
teleportation,
white
like,
hole.
right?
kinda
Yeah,
thing.
the matter doesn't just get eaten; it goes
Like,
out somewhere else.
Like,
it's a
Interstellar
it's a
theory
black
kinda,
hole
yeah,
and white
yeah.
hole like scenario where you come out of another universe or
This
another
might-
bend in fabric in space.
This might be a bleak outlook, but I do not believe that black holes are anything special other than a lot of mass that literally will kill and consume anything that it touches.
Gravity falling in on itself.
Yeah.
I think
I think you can do cool things around black holes with like kind of like changing the dynamics of like time. I think that's a viable thing, but I don't think that black holes are anything special. I think it's stay fucking far away from that shit.
we don't understand black holes as they are. I think we theorize what it is, but I think it's something different.
Well, the thing that I think pisses scientists off so much about
There's
black
no way
holes
that
is
you
there's no
literally
way
can't know.
there's no way to actually
All
know.
we can do is look at it and be like, huh, things are moving around it. Oh,
And-
gravity. Wait, but like light's moving around it. Okay, so it's also bending light. So nothing can get past it.
The event
Well, yeah, the
horizon.
event horizon.
Yep.
Well, so then you look at it and you're like, well, what is it then? And all a black hole looks like to you is whatever is behind it.
So Ben, that's what we were talking about with the quarks. Apparently, like I said, this is just like my basic rudimentary understanding, but that theory holds true because of quarks. So like that's what scientists are like, well, energy can't be destroyed, it only gets transferred. So then when a black hole consumes all this energy and this mass, where does it go? That energy is then transferred as like what the whole Hawking radiation theory is, and then that's what quarks are supposed to be, are the crunched up matter that just gets shit out in every fucking direction, and they're just
So
pieces of electrons that go scattered through the cosmos.
just to make sure that you have like a full conceptualization of like what quirks are, they're literally just the building blocks of what we think the building blocks were, which are
Right.
protons, neutrons,
So
and
what's
electrons.
the building blocks of those building blocks, huh?
Of quarks? I don't know.
Right, I know. That's why. It's
I
so
honestly,
fucking-
the idea of cutting something in half, that was like an impossible theory. Is once you cut something in half so much, like what's half of a fucking what's inside of a quark? Like what is it?
Yeah, so we have
sub-quarks?
atoms, molecules, quarks.
Well, molecules are clusters of.
Well, photons too. Light is an energy too, and photons can be. I don't think does light photons if they just get shot. I don't know. I don't. That's beyond me. I don't know. I don't know the answers. I'm not a fucking astrophysicist or a thermodynamics expert. I don't know this shit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna.
That's it's so beyond. There's questions that like I could look up. I spend hours all watching shit and researching this because it's fascinating to me. But there's only a certain level of understanding that I have.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's only so much we can possibly even understand about it right now.
Atoms are like molecules. Like there are inside of an atom, you have a molecule.
Molecule would be implying that it's a cluster of things creating something.
Oh, and then you have the atoms on the molecules, and then
that-
when you split an atom,
okay,
then you have quarks.
Yeah, so there are multiple atoms to create a molecule. So molecules would be like the chemical makeup of like water. A molecule is hydrogen, oxygen.
Okay, so you have
yeah.
your molecule. So molecule.
But then atoms are the individualized elements.
so go down the tree. You have matter, and then
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, from
like a
build
table
up.
matter, and then when
Like
you
that,
break
this
it
thing
down,
is made out of molecules to create whatever it is, and then in those molecules there are atoms that make up those molecules, and then in the atoms you have the neutrons, protons, and electrons that make up the atoms,
yep. Okay,
and then inside those
is the quarks.
are the quarks that
Okay.
make up the protons, neutrons, and electrons.
Yeah.
And then inside the quarks, like I said, that's where my knowledge cuts off because like that's when you're starting to get into quantum science, and like that in general is just it's all theoretical.
We don't know.
I mean,
Nobody knows.
You go down to an electron scan, but as soon as you're down that low, I mean, how are you supposed to look smaller than that? Theoretically, you just I don't know. No, it is something that we do not know anything about yet.
It's a good time to talk about today's sponsor, Curiosity Stream. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Curiosity box.
It's just funny how like every
over
time
the over the holidays, I played with my new Curiosity box with my 10-year-old son.
like any educational or like science podcast
Yeah.
that you listen to, it's always
Science Girl or
it's always that
Rhett
shit.
and Link. I've been watching a lot more Rhett and Link lately, and they've been doing that. They've been doing like the meat box and Curiosity box is one of them that are like really big science ones.
Yep,
I don't know,
yep.
it's always funny seeing them. They're cool though. They're cool. They're cool stuff.
If you ever listened to their Ear
I wish I was
Biscuits
a kid
podcast,
these days. I wish I was a kid these days. You know, cool out. It would be good to get things. Honestly, you know what? Never mind. I take that back.
I actually
wanna be a
like
kid.
I actually like when I grew up because
Yeah, now that I'm thinking
we
about
have
it.
a really good understanding as to like where we came from as far as like
There's been we were in the
technology.
transition process.
We've gone through a very strange transition period.
and we were that transition.
Yeah, and I think that's cool because we get to see a lot of really cool things. I mean, dude, I cannot stress enough how much VR blows my fucking mind still to this day.
You almost lose sight of what something is when it's right in front of you.
Well,
all
and
day.
the thing is like I respect it so much because I know like when I was a kid, when I was so young, I was like, dude, it would be so cool if I could like put myself in a video game and like do all this cool stuff. I was a fucking geek when I was a kid. And I used to write stories when we had to do like writing classes and stuff about being a character in a video game. And like my mom still got them to this day. I've seen them and everything, and I look back at them and I'm like, damn, I literally do that for fun in my fucking studio. Like,
I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I would be a lot more enamored by it because I'm in the same boat. There was one book I ever enjoyed throughout my entire childhood, and it was called Virtual War, and it was all about literally exactly that. These kids going into a virtual like life and all that. It was really cool. Loved it. I just feel like VR right now just isn't there enough. for
No,
me.
it's not
no,
not
no.
at all.
And it's just one of those things where it's a gimmick right now.
But the concept
concept
is so,
is there. Oh, yeah,
it's
the concept
so
is there.
rock solid. It's
but
just
right
not
now,
there
it's just not there, and
No.
it breaks it away from me because I am now gonna forever have that first notation of how VR originally was, and it's not bad. Don't get me wrong. It's not like it was like, oh yeah.
Did you hear about the
But-
Pimax that's coming out?
the Pimax?
Do you know about the Pimax? Like those like crazy wide headsets.
Crazy
You-
looking.
You've
yeah.
probably you had to have seen pictures at some point. They're like the crazy. They have the hexagons on them and everything. They look nuts.
Are they really like like a lot of stuff out of the headset coming off?
They
the
come out.
headset?
They're the widest, largest, and heaviest headsets that exist right now, and they're wide. Their whole
That
thing
sounds
is like
really
the FOV.
bad.
It like wraps around your head.
Yeah, I have heard about
Okay.
that.
So Pimax is about ready to release. It's coming out at the beginning of this year. It's a
What's
3,000.
so amazing about it?
They pushed the Pimax the company is about to release a new headset in early 2022 that is going to have inside out full body tracking without the need of controllers.
Without controllers, without trackers, just strictly headset and base station.
Lower mouth tracking and eye tracking.
That's gonna be
For
so. That's gonna be so
$3,000.
gimmicky. That's gonna be so gimmicky.
No, I think they're ready.
We looked
Do
we
you-
looked into it last night, and it was all based off cameras.
What's
in
I was
the
gonna say?
headset.
What's the equipment to it?
It's all
The
like
Is it gonna, is
AI-based.
it gonna be a newly made Kinect?
It uses a
I
similar
made-
tech
I
to the
made
Kinect.
I made that joke
So
last
it's
night
so
about
it's
it.
infrared.
Similar to the Kinect minus the shitty infrared.
I mean, the infrared. The Kinect was only shitty because it was one camera. Well, it was two cameras,
So
but it was one camera.
they've got I think it has 2 fucking cameras on the bottom, 1 in the center, 2 on the outside. And they're like fucking huge ass like fisheye lenses that literally can see your entire body. Like you literally can't bend your body backwards far enough to the point where it's out of the view of the camera.
I mean, your legs would definitely be out of the view. Absolutely.
I don't know how they're addressing it, but
That's the only point I'm making is like if it's exterior tracking, yeah. I mean, fuck, you can put a mocap suit on and play VR. You know what I mean?
absolutely.
It just sounds interesting, like hearing it all in one helmet. I don't know. I mean, hey, if it works, it works. That sounds.
We'll just have to keep our eyes
I
open
was gonna
and see what
say,
happens. I
the
don't know.
only thing that I feel like they have to do with VR is I feel like they have to make it, instead of it just being this like kind of like headset style, I feel like it needs to be more like a helmet. Almost. I don't know. Would you rather enjoy wearing a helmet that's more distributed around your whole head?
I mean, that's what the Index is to me.
I mean, yeah, but you're still having that screen sticking off. I mean, it still has the functionality of
That
like.
I was just talking to Jillian last night. To me, doesn't even feel like I'm wearing a headset after about 30
I mean,
minutes of it
fair.
on. I
It's
completely forget
probably-
it's on my head.
It's probably a way different experience going from the Vive because the Vive's heavy.
The Vive, my
So
issue with the
heavy.
Vive is it puts all the weight on your
Yeah,
fucking
right on your
cheekbones, dude,
cheeks.
and I couldn't stand it. I told you when we were in VR late nights every night. I kept telling you, dude. I feel my headset
That's
every
why
time we play.
every single time I play, I always pull down on the back to try and lift it up, and then it like slowly like tilts down and starts putting pressure
And then
down
it fucking puts so much pressure. Whereas this, it puts all the pressure like
on your forehead,
like on the sides and foreheads, and because this is so much like sturdier and
and lighter, a lot lighter.
It's just I don't even know it's there, dude.
Julian, you missed a lot that was leading up to this.
We probably were like talking about VR when he was in here, and then we did this whole
I was gonna say,
existential conversation that led back to VR.
We have been literally making full circles all the way.
We went to the fucking
way.
cosmos and back, and
we found out that we literally just made a massive full circle.
And the full circle we've made our way around.
I think we hit our finish line.
Yeah. Which is good because I did like I didn't want to cut any of that off because it was really interesting topics, but since this is the last podcast of the year,
this is going to be the last.
I
one of
wanted
the
to talk a little bit about New Year's and like any possible resolutions or like hopes for the new year, whatnot.
Yeah. No. I'm honestly. Every single year seems different, but
I mean,
it always comes down to the same point.
I'm not a huge person that like, oh, it's a new year, a new me kind of thing. It's like, no. Like
I always lied to myself about that shit.
It's just another week. Like,
we set goals for us as a team, I think, and we've done a pretty damn good job of hitting them.
Oh yeah,
like
absolutely.
I'm talking about us
throughout the entire year and leading up to this year. I mean, I remember right off the bat, kicking off right into the new 2020. We went blazing
in 2019.
Yeah, when we went blazing.
So
we were
2019
pushing.
is when we started.
Well,
I'm
saying I was talking about this year.
No, I know, but I'm just like I'm thinking back. Like I can still remember the night we decided to build this group.
Oh,
I remember that night I was building.
I remember
the Discord server from scratch.
Yeah,
putting everything together in the hopes of like this group becoming a bigger thing.
Yeah, and we set some goals to do some really cool stuff throughout 2020, and I think we hit
those goals and surpassed. Like,
I mean, there was a lot of times that we shot for the moon and we fucking went to Mars.
If you talk to us as a group in the beginning of 2020 and said, yeah, Caffeine's gonna have you guys help host a tournament for them, never would have believed it.
Well, it wasn't even in our scope
back
what
when
we
weren't even
for.
science or anything. Before we were hardly casters and we just wanted to be around on the platform. We just liked talking to people, and now
we have the opportunity to do cool stuff like this.
Yeah, we have the opportunity to be able to make a difference on Caffeine and put our content out there and help like make you guys have really cool events. And
I think our biggest goal is just to like do some. And this is gonna sound dumb, but I want to find something. We don't know what it is yet, but I want to find something for us to like do as a whole that is just gonna blow everything else that we've done within the last 2 years out of the water.
Yeah,
and I don't know what that is yet.
That's a hard bar to cross simply just because of how big it was in the beginning.
Yeah. Well, I
mean, the stepping stone we've taken this year,
true, Ben,
can definitely just lead higher and higher up into next year.
Oh, absolutely. But like, I don't know, thinking of our initial leap into this and coming all the way up to guys, it's gonna be 2022.
That's nuts.
Right? Yeah.
2021's over. It's done.
Yep.
Crazy, honestly.
Couple days. 2 days. What is it?
I still remember, dude. I remember sitting in class, lining up, getting ready to go to breakfast, and everyone was supposed to say the date and sing the Pledge of Allegiance. And I remember sitting there saying, 2007.
I remember 2012, bro. That's about a sort of.
Well, I'm just saying, like saying the number and recognizing that was the year, and then like thinking now it's gonna be 2022.
Yeah, fuck,
just
we're
crazy.
old. No, I'm kidding.
2012,
we're not even that old.
We're all getting old.
2012 does stick out to me as well.
2012 is
like a very memorable year.
It's a great
and
music
the fact that is going to be 10 years from
It already
current-
is. It already is 10 years.
Has anyone
Boom.
checked to see if there was like a Mayan calendar end date or something that's gonna mark
An
the end of
updated
the-
one.
Yeah, is there a new
No.
Mayan calendar that's gonna?
I don't know.
The thing is that I remember back in the day of like the whole 2012 Mayan calendar thing. It was like that got like debunked because the Mayan calendar didn't like account for like Caesar calendars.
Oh
Yeah.
no! Trust me, I know.
So like
I
it
know.
should have happened like way years ago before 2012 if that was.
Oh, I know.
But like my biggest argument whenever people were like, "Oh, the Mayan calendar says the world will end on December 21st, 2012," I was like, maybe they just ran out of room. They wrote it on a fucking rock, dude.
Yeah, I was gonna
They
say.
just ran out of room. They just made the calendar until they're like, all right, there's no more space left. You want maybe there's
we'll
another
make
rock.
it. We'll make a new one in
maybe,
a couple years.
Maybe there's another rock out there that has the rest of the calendar. Keep going. Or maybe they're
What
just like,
was-
fuck it. We don't need to keep
Does
writing this.
anyone like? Do you guys know the idea behind what the Mayan calendar was supposed to be? Was it just supposed
It was
to
some
be
link between that the day that all the Mayans just like disappeared off the face of the planet and when their calendar ended, there was some like correlation there, and it was supposed to repeat every like Mayan calendar like cycle.
Are the Mayans just one of those things where people just don't know what happened to them?
We don't really know what
we
happened
don't,
to the
yeah,
Mayans.
we don't fully know.
We don't. There's
like all the Aztecs in general. you're
they
saying,
all
or-
just died, and we don't know if it was like they got wiped out from disease.
They all
or
went to.
Yeah.
They all went back home to their home planet. That's what I believe.
What the time frame was like all the way back like BC, right? Like the Mayans were like
Back in that time, yeah, it was BC.
yeah.
I
Very old.
believe. I honestly, I'm not fully sure.
I mean,
Of
I
the
don't
time.
know much about it either.
2022 AD.
Right.
Yeah. Which really, when you put it in that perspective, thinking that there was years before it, which there was, obviously.
Well, just to think that
sounds
there was
weird.
2,000 years that we're in now, and there was how many years before that?
I'm pretty sure the whole BC AD or whatever the AC or
It's
whatever.
just it's
No, I'm pretty sure
yeah.
in modern textbooks and the way it's taught to kids nowadays, they don't actually use that terminology.
because
because
it's
I'm-
technically religious.
I'm pretty sure, yeah, because the whole like religion behind that, they've removed
Well,
that because
when you talk BC, it's actually BCE, and that's like
BCE, yeah,
that's
yeah,
not that's not before Christ. It's before something else. I don't remember what
before
the actual terminology is.
crustacean era,
Right? Yeah, something like that.
or before.
And then AD is still
not
they
crustacean
they
era.
changed AD to something else. But it's
crustacean
still
era, that would be
AD.
like
before
Yeah, never mind.
crustacean era. We're going back to the roots.
before we were the
before
crabs.
Common era, before common
era, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and I think AD is still AD. It just stands for something else besides after death.
Well,
'Cause
it's,
it was
the
after
same way,
death of Christ.
Well,
is
yeah,
what it
it was
was.
after before Christ, after death was like the whole.
Right.
I think it's so
idea.
funny how like we were brought up knowing that, and they've changed it because it's just weird.
So apparently,
Oh,
technically, this is considered. So it would
this is
be
gonna be a long ass podcast.
Yeah, right. It would be more acceptable to say like if you were to say 2000 BC, you would think BCE, and then
Right.
2022 is considered 2022 CE, which is just considered
CE,
common
okay,
era.
Common era. Okay.
But apparently AD stands for Anno Domini.
Yeah, which is what.
Yeah,
what
Ben.
Ben typed
Yeah,
in
Ben.
there.
Literally. Yeah, he just said it.
I don't know what that means. No idea.
Okay.
I was always told as a kid it was after death, but
Well, yeah.
That's what it's. Yeah, that was what it originally was. So
Oh,
we
really?
are-
oh, okay, that makes sense.
we are
Translates.
we are getting to the point where we have to wrap up.
I gotta go home soon.
But before we do, last podcast we were talking. You had brought peanut brittle.
Yes,
And
and
I-
it,
a
I-
box-
I-
a
it
box of
was
peanut
still
brittle.
in my bag, and I threw it away.
It's okay.
I threw
It's
it away.
okay.
No, it's not in here now. I threw it away.
No, I know.
It's in the garbage
That's fine.
because of how trash it was
Right.
compared to this.
I don't
Which
think I
this
even
is-
tried it.
This is you
It
don't
was
need
alright.
to.
It really wasn't.
I know,
It,
That's
I
fine.
honestly don't think it was that great.
it really wasn't that bad.
It was very bland and dry.
It's
in my
under. You
opinion.
know what? I am curious to see what this peanut brittle tastes in comparison to that. Peanut
So
brittle.
before we try it,
yes.
the backstory on this is real Amish peanut brittle.
Why? What's the difference between
my
regular and
grandmother
Amish?
writes
Full circle
a-
back to the Amish.
My grandmother writes a letter to these guys, hand writes
Holy shit.
a letter to these people that make this candy,
Okay.
and then they send her the candy, and then she mails a check back to them.
That's a lot of. I mean, like I get it. Like the Amish are probably more of a trusting people, but that's a lot of trust to like get payment
Yeah.
after you've sent the goods out.
I mean,
But that's how they do it. And this is that.
that would make me feel really good. You know, I get angry when people. I'm not even gonna get into it. There's not even no reason.
It's a good
would-
feeling.
It
yeah.
is. That's a good feeling.
like the whole the concept of like prepay things.
No, when you're in Smite and you ask to trade a character for them to re-roll it, and then they just end up stealing it from you, and then you end up
Oh,
having them steal it from you, and then you feel sad and angry.
So go ahead.
I went there.
So go ahead and give it a shot.
I am eating Amish peanut brittle.
And unfortunately, this will
These
be
are big
different.
chunks.
Yeah,
so-
unfortunately, this will be a little bit different because they have chocolate on them. I
I mean, and that's okay. It's still
normally
good. It's good.
Normally
Chocolate's good.
Normally we get it without chocolate, but this time,
Very
unfortunately,
chocolatey.
yeah, this time this is what we got.
Uh huh. Oh yeah. Ooh. Oh. Wow.
Oh wait, let me see your guys' chunks. My grandma lied. You guys are eating angel food right now. This is not peanut brittle.
Oh.
I should go get the peanut brittle.
oh no.
This is actually better than peanut brittle in my opinion.
Yeah, this is great.
This is delicious. This is angel food. Hold on, let me go get the peanut brittle.
What is angel food?
Oh, it's fucking delicious. I don't even know. I don't know how they make
You know what? It's like homemade Butterfinger.
I know exactly what it is.
I'm coming for the peanut brittle.
It's peanut brittle. It's angel food.
It's boiled sugar. And like seasoning.
That's angel food. That's not peanut brittle.
Oh, what?
I have it right
What is
here.
that?
That's even
Yeah,
better.
I'm gonna be honest. I saw love food on it, and I was like,
Yep. Okay. This is the peanut brittle.
This is a Butterfinger.
That's what I said.
This is a fucking Butterfinger.
What? Hold on. Okay. This is peanut brittle.
That looks like peanut brittle. The
this
shape
was
of it.
so much.
This is a lot.
You don't have to finish it. I'm not gonna be angry if you don't finish it.
I need to
but
finish at least this.
Okay.
I'm so glad
But
Kenzie
y-
agrees with me.
if you
That
gotta
tastes
break
like
one
a
of these
homemade
pieces-
Butterfinger.
Yeah, but so good.
Oh yeah,
It's like a caramely Butterfinger.
yeah. It's good. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
All right, peanut brittle. You want to like split one?
Hmm?
Was that too much for you? You want to split one?
I want literally like one
Do you want a
bite.
napkin?
I would love a napkin.
It's peanut brittle. It's gonna be hard. Good luck.
Thank you.
That's peanut brittle.
This is peanut brittle.
Yes.
I almost got stabbed.
Thank you. Oh, hold on. There we go.
Stabbed.
That's
Good.
peanut brittle. That tastes like I can taste the peanuts in it.
Mhm.
Goodbye, friends. Bye, podcast. Love you guys.
So what do you think of this peanut brittle compared to what you had before? And if you say that you don't like it as much, that's totally fine. I'm not gonna take offense to
I
it.
don't
Be
have a
honest.
comparison, so that's up to Justin. I don't have the comparison that you guys had.
So. That was so much.
I'm so sorry that I gave you angel food before. I totally
was
fucked
just-
up
it was
the
just
bag.
so
this
much-
this man brought in the angel food. Is so hyped up. I got
It was so
real
good.
peanut brittle
Hold on.
here. Yeah, this whole time it's been sitting
was
up there.
so
It's
good.
the wrong one.
It was better.
Okay.
The only thing that I think wasn't as good was the peanuts.
I had a lot of peanuts in the chunk I saw. I saw it.
I thought the peanuts personally that I had from that other one, the
Mhm.
peanuts just tasted. It had a strong
More
peanut.
peanutty.
It had
They
a
tasted
more
like
peanut.
peanuts.
Yeah.
And in
This
my
is more chocolate and
caramel, or
caramel.
toffee.
Yeah,
I think it's
whatever.
toffee. Yeah. See, I like it when there's more toffee and less peanuts, and I think that's just a personal preference at that point.
I mean, yeah, it probably is.
But I
mean,
think
I-
that the toffee part of this was
the
way
toffee
better than what
was
you-
really good. Yes,
I didn't
very
even get,
good.
I didn't even get caramel flavor in that. When I took the bite of mine, I got peanuts, chocolate, toffee.
I didn't really taste the peanuts much, but
Well,
it
I
tasted
ta-
really good
The,
nonetheless.
the immediate first bite, I tasted peanuts. To be fair, the
You
piece
can
I
taste
broke,
the
the
homemade.
piece I broke off might not have
love.
had too
Yeah,
much
exactly.
peanuts in
Love.
it for you. The
Huh?
piece I broke off that for you might
then-
not have had too many peanuts.
I mean,
in it.
it's possible. I mean, they usually
I
size
the
those up with
first
the
the
peanuts in
first
mind.
immediate bite, I was like, I'm eating peanuts. That's what it tastes like. And then I was like, there's
That
chocolate,
angel food though,
there's toffee.
that
Dude, the
angel food
is yummy.
that was good.
Yeah,
That was really
that
good.
that's a treat right there. You guys are like, yeah, I don't normally share
I'm
that.
not. I'm not like I
Max
honestly
is
would
like,
have
son
to
of a
like.
bitch, I didn't mean to give that away.
I would eat like one a week. And this stuff is like it's
so
so
rich.
good, but it's so rich.
It's like
so rich.
it's like eating fudge.
And the piece I got was like that thick.
You got a pretty good healthy chunk.
I
There,
did
my
not
friend.
want it, but I didn't want to go digging.
That's like some fucking stick to your teeth candy right there.
God, I wanted to finish it. 'Cause
You
it was
ever
so
gotten
much.
like proper fudge from places?
I don't like fudge.
I mean, it's fair,
I'm
but
not a
like
big fudge fan
Yes,
either.
I have, but I don't like
that's
fudge.
well, you said like it's once a week thing. Like that's how I feel about fudge. Like I've gotten because I get like there's a place we go up in Door County on my yearly trips with the family that sells fudge, and I'll get fudge there, and I'll get like literally a square about yay big, and that takes me like months to eat because I'll have like a little slice of it. It's like, ooh, that's good. All right, that's enough for like a month.
Yeah, because it's so rich, dude. It's like
so rich.
Every single time I go back up north, I ended up going to Dan's Fudge, which is just like a fudge place that's up there, and I always buy like a pound of something. Like, and it's easy to buy a pound from there because it's like a normal size from Dan's, and I never eat it, never do. I should never get fudge from there ever again.
well,
I'd rather just get ice cream.
I mean, to
a
be
pound of fudge is
Well,
so much, dude.
Yeah, but when you think about it, like $12 for like a pound of fudge, and you like bring it back for your family. You know?
I guess.
Here's the thing. I will like kind of like
It is a lot though. You're not wrong. It's a chunk. It's a
Thick.
hunk.
I will
It's
say
got
it's kind of
weight, dude. It's a
okay
cube.
because you're supporting the family business kind of thing, like the independent
Yeah.
business. Like granted, if you
Minocqua
can find
is a
if you can
tourist
find
town.
ways that you want to support it while also enjoying
Yeah.
your stuff and not just
Ice
throwing it
cream.
away.
Shakes. They have really good shakes there. If you guys ever go to Minocqua, Wisconsin, go to Dan's Fudge and get
I've been there.
chocolate
I think.
shakes.
Wait, no, I haven't been there.
No,
if you ever go to Door
you
County,
have.
Wisconsin, go to oh God, what's the name of it? I gotta
Oh
think of the name.
no,
It's
the
Apple.
shameless
It's
plug.
Apple. Hold on.
All right, that'll be our
I'll
last.
think about it.
and
Yeah,
then-
I think it has to be. Otherwise, we'd keep on going for the rest of the night.
Yeah, this is why we do this podcast because we can literally do this. This one went long because our last one went short. There we go. We made
Yeah.
up for.
It was our last one was pretty short. Your minds are endless. There's just so much to talk about, man. So much to talk
Pick
about.
my brain.
If we had the ability to also watch YouTube videos and like do our process of learning and like talking about stuff, we would also probably sit here all day.
Oh yeah, we could
If
go
if
and go
you
and
took
go and
turns
go.
with like if you took turns and talked and like I sat here and like just did my normal thing I do on a daily basis, just watch videos and shit like that.
As time
And then
goes
like
on,
after an hour, and then you take a break, and I step in, and then you take.
Well,
a break
that
and-
was me when you guys were going about quantum computing because I had no idea I had nothing to add to the conversation. I just kind of like loved spacing out and listening to this.
There you go. Yeah.
Well, as time goes on, I will figure out better ways to make it so that we can actually pull stuff up on stream. We will get there. Now that I have it set up like this,
We
Which I should
haven't
have done
even.
from the
I'm gonna be
start.
honest. We still have yet to get this figured out.
Right? Yeah.
yeah, that it will.
We're-
So,
we're
like,
still-
we'll
we're
get
still
there.
making
we're in our
slight-
moves. We haven't even uploaded anything yet. So
Well,
we're in our moves. We have to.
the
We have to get everything
the
going.
first big change is I'm gonna get a bigger table and we're gonna go horizontal.
Yeah.
Also, I just want to jump back. I found the name of it. It's Wood Orchard Market.
Oh,
Over
okay.
in Door
There you go.
County, Wisconsin. Wood Orchard Market.
Nice.
Fantastic place.
We'll have to next time.
Not just for the fudge.
It
Like it has so much shit there. It's so good.
All right. I'll have to, I've
They have
never,
something-
I've
they
never
have
really been there. So
something-
and
Door-
Door County that is.
Door County is big on cherries. They have something called cherry salsa. Fucking delicious.
I honestly religiously eat jalapeno jelly. If you ever want, they say remember the jalapeno jelly we had here on the toast?
Yes, I do. I think I actually might. No, somebody else. took it, somebody else
remember
took
I
I
didn't get a
have
chance
bought
to try that
3
'cause I had to leave
jars
early.
since then, so
Okay.
it's good stuff.
Hell yeah.
If you ever want to have some cheese,
Jalapeno jelly. There you go, guys. Go get it.
so good.
Alrighty.
Guys,
That wraps
thank
it
you
up for
all
today.
so much for listening and tuning in to the CC Podcast today. Thank you guys.
Episode 4, the podcast.
The podcast. Hopefully you guys have a wonderful New Year's. I know you guys aren't listening, but for you live members out there, we'll see you guys back next year. And we appreciate every single last one of you guys coming out. We're going to have an event coming up here soon.
On the 30th.
Whoop, woo! We're going to have a lot of
Yes.
streamers playing The Forest.
Good
So
times.
If you guys can, check it on over. If you guys are tuning in on the recording side, make sure you guys go back. We'll probably have some footage up for it.
On the replays on the channels,
yeah,
like
yeah,
all throughout
yeah.
Caffeine.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
gonna be like I think we got 25 or 27, somewhere between 25 and 27 confirmed people playing this. It's
Yeah.
gonna be nuts. We're
It's
gonna
gonna
literally
be a lot
we're
of
gonna
fun.
throw numbers at Forrest, and it's gonna be disgusting and hilarious.
We're gonna
and a
beat it
ton of
this
fun.
time. We're gonna
We-
finally beat the game this time.
It was a lot of fun last time, and it's gonna be just as fun.
Oh,
if
yeah.
not more. this time.
Absolutely. Yep. Guys, thank you. Hope you guys have a wonderful New Year's. And to all of you, much love. We'll catch you guys later.
Bye bye.
Don't forget to join our Discord server and all that good stuff. Say hi to us in Discord. We'll talk to you about quantum computers.
Hi
and,
to us in Discord and streams.
Hey,
Yeah,
there
all
we go.
that
See you
good-
guys
Fall
there.
Wolf, Silver Zambi, and Glitch Penguin. We are out for the night. Everyone have a happy New Year. And Mike, I'll let you say a little outro if you want. I don't know.
Happy New Year and good living.
Hey, there you go.
Love
See you
to
later,
hear it.
Brax. I'm sorry, man. You jumped in just as we're ending up here, and we gotta go. It's been 2.5 hours. We'll catch you guys later. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. Bye.
What does he say? Why